All right. Thanks for sticking with us, folks. How are we sounding? I'm going to throw some music in the background so you have a continuous audio to listen to. Yeah, give us some feedback in the chat. Let us know if we are chopping up for you. Do you hear the sweet strains of Rachmaninoff in the background?
Yep, it's just starting up.
Okie doke.
Alright, pop this out.
Da.
Okay,
well, why don't we do a really quick recap? We had a bit of an introduction.
Let's just start over. That'll be great.
Paige and Sabrina. Yeah, we're just gonna jump. Yeah, I agree. We're gonna start from the start. So welcome back once again. This is our finale for Night Witches, where we play the real life 588th Bombing Regiment, the only all-female Soviet Air Force regiment in World War II. And we get the chance to, bomb some fascists and handle the stresses of being under a totalitarian regime ourselves, while simultaneously dealing with patriarchal standards and lots of other really fun stuff. It's just been really light and fun and chill, and there've been
warm fuzzies all around.
No terrible
no
dark
problems whatsoever.
themes. But let's chat with our characters. I want to hear a little bit from each of my players. I want to hear about your character and what they're feeling, what they're thinking right now. How have they handled this it's been about a year that they've been flying these planes, and the four of you have miraculously stayed alive. It's
somehow
not guaranteed and is difficult. You've seen comrades fall and possibly another one of those just now. Let's start with Paige.
Hello, I'm Paige. I play as Ira. I was about to call her a super cybernetic soldier. Different campaign. But yeah, I play as Ira, the youngest of the regiment. She's technically 16, but if you ask her, she's 18. And,
I don't know, you might be 17 now.
Yeah, I guess you'd be 17.
Yeah, happy birthday! But her sister Alexandra, played by Levitt, is also in the regiment, and currently she's been going through feelings of dread and depression because of losing multiple different people all in one day, and now the base is being attacked. But she's taken that depression and anger and is turning that to inspiration to push forward and take it to the Nazis type of thing. She's usually really upbeat and plays pranks with her best friend Nadia, but now things are a little more serious.
I think you mean Nina?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, yes, Nina. You guys are so similar.
yes, two N names. I apologize if I messed that up at any point today as well. All right, Sabrina.
My brain's all over the place.
Sabrina, tell us a little bit about your character.
My character's name is Nina, and Ira is my beautiful, and we do like to play pranks together, and usually Nina's pretty easygoing in that she doesn't really give much weight to some of the bad things that are happening around her. She kind of tries to shut herself in, hence the fresh attitude, right? But I think that after last session, Nina had a little bit, some of her wall is probably crumbling a little bit, and she's very worried right now before our next session. She's not feeling lighthearted, or maybe not feeling like she's gonna live through the war. So we'll see. Oh, and I did forget to mention, so our pranks are generally it's we just don't like being fucked with, and so we'll just poke you right back. Is the general nature of our pranks.
Sweet revenge.
All right. Let's hear from Cassie Levitt.
Alright, I am playing Alexandra Sasha Maslova, who has been under quite a bit of stress trying to keep her little sister alive and trying to warn her of the danger of poking the bear, as it were, when you speak of Soviet.
Soviet bear.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, I think mostly just they've managed to survive so far, but it's been a lot of close calls. Sasha in particular was nearly killed once, so I think a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, more and more.
Yeah, we're gonna need a good spa day after this.
Spa year, perhaps.
Spa year, yeah.
Pullhammer.
Yes. So yeah, I am Cassie Polhammer, and I play Svetlana Petrovna, and I have been drawn to the cause because if I don't, then I would probably be killed. Yeah, like you do. So I am all about Mother Russia and Soviet awesomeness, because I have to be. And so, I stay relevant with the Soviets by turning in other people to the NKVD so they don't look at me. Essentially, that's what I do.
Mm-hmm. And I think each of our characters has tangled with the restrictions of the Soviet regime in one way or another. And with mixed success, have at very least managed to evade notice for the time being, and have really stayed focused on your mission, which is to bomb as many Nazi camps as you possibly can.
Yes.
So you've been doing that, and this right now you're in a very key strategic point. The Germans are trying to push through to take over a region, the Caucasus region, which is rich with oil, and so they want to be able to access these natural resources to help boost their own war effort.
Mm-hmm.
But you and the rest of the Red Army are what are standing in the way of that goal being realized. And right now, you are in the Pashkovskaya region, airfield, where you are going back and forth, bombing every night. And you've been there for a little while. And last night was really great for you guys. It went really well. You hit your target and came back. You had a good rest, and then you were just about to go be briefed when all of a sudden, bam! Tree Nazis. Nazis in the trees.
Nazis in the trees. They're everywhere.
When tree Nazis happens, it's not a good time.
So they came at you and attacked your base, and were really close to taking over the airstrip. And you got Lieutenant Belazovska barking orders, got you all in your planes, and you started bombing your own base. And you've managed to repel the attack, but the fallout is immense. Each of you are right now sitting at 1 harm.
Mm-hmm.
And you have been scattering throughout the camp, helping wherever you can. It is chaos. Everybody's just kind of lending a hand wherever possible. There are commanding officers barking orders here and there. But for the most part, everybody's focus is to get the injured, the wounded, the casualties off the field, and to get the whole space cleaned up, prevent fires from spreading, all of that. So you've been ping-ponging all over the place, helping people out. You find a downed plane, and you pull the pilot out of this plane, this unconscious figure, and spin them around and see the face of Nadia, Nina's very good friend. that she's known since childhood. So the four of you are standing there, and you see Nadia's slack face, and you all look in horror at her. And we cut to a snowy, sun-drenched tundra. Excuse me. You can see long stretches of flat terrain. They're covered in melting snow. It's a cool May morning in northern Russia, 1935, a very small town called Norilsk. And we see a fenced compound near a winding dirt road. Following the muddy road, we spot mountains in the distance, and we come upon some small dwellings built on stilts. There are two girls playing in the snow, and we come in close to 14-year-old Nina and Nadia, dressed in coats and mittens made of some sort of animal hide. They scoop large chunks of snow into an ever-growing pile. They're building sort of some kind of barrier, busily patting it down. Nina is focused on the barrier, and she doesn't see Nadia sneaking up behind her with an armful of snow. Bam! Nina's shriek rings over the melting terrain as Nadia pulls back her hood and stuffs in the snow. She twists and throws her arms around Nadia and drags her down to the ground, screaming threats over her friend's laughter. Ah! I can feel it melting down my back! Nina straddles Nadia and retaliates with a scoop of snow on her face, rubbing it in her cheek and muffling her friend's giggles. I surrender! Nadia gasps for breath. I surrender! Save it for the boys! Nina grins in triumph and releases her, still on top of her friend. Fine. We're almost ready. There. Oh! She's cut off by a fat, rock-hard snowball in her back. It thumps onto the ground, unbroken, and Nina cries out. She turns and sees three boys smirking, reeling back to throw a second volley. She tucks, rolls behind the barrier, and the three snowballs soar past. Nadia follows her behind the barrier, shrieking. Each girl snatches up an armful of prepared snowballs, and their faces are deadly serious. Ready? Nina nods. Both of them shout, and they thrust an elbow out from behind the barrier, trying to pull attention from their opponents, and it works. More snowballs sail past, and Nina leaps up, firing two at a boy who's crouched behind the stilts of a house. One goes wide, the other one knocks his ammunition from his hand. But she takes a hit to the face as she ducks back down. Got one, she pants. Her heart is pounding, and she scrambles for more snowballs. On our left, shouts Nadia. She leaps in the air, sticks out her tongue, and launches a volley at the boy attempting to creep behind their barrier. He flinches at the onslaught, but manages to catch her with one in the stomach as he retreats, landing her flat on her bottom. That's right, Yura! Stay out! Nadia wheezes, grinning. A sudden crunch of snow catches Nina's ear on the right, and she turns to see Vladimir bearing down on them with an armful of snowballs. She screams and leaps to protect Nadia, exchanging snowballs while he approaches and laughing. The two girls tangle in a hopeless heap, and Vlad shouts in victory, raining snowballs on Nina. She covers her head, laughing. Okay, you win this one! All of a sudden, Vladimir shouts, someone's coming! And the three boys scatter. From behind her arm, Nina hears the crunch of their footsteps as they retreat, and she looks up. She sees a group of people marching down the muddy dirt road, led by three men in army uniforms. Nadia! Nadia! She helps her disoriented friend to her feet, and they thunder up the steps into Nina's house, shaking snow from their boots. Nina rushes to the addition that's been built onto the house. It's a greenhouse built with fragments of glass from bottles. There's only enough room to fit two girls between two rows of tiny budding plants. Nina cracks a shutter, letting in a column of chill air. She and Nadia peer through the crack to see a row of desperate people pass. They trudge through the May snow, some with rags wrapped around their feet, a few lucky ones with worn shoes, but mostly barefoot. Stooped, they follow 3 guards who stride through the mud in thick-soled combat boots toward the mountains. Who are they? Nina asks. Fear pulses through her chest and throat. Why are they going toward the mountain? Nadia's eyes shine with the knowledge of an untold secret, and she taps Nina's shoulder as she speaks. My mama said they're bad men. She said that Comrade Stalin sent them to build the mines, to punish them for being disloyal. Nina looks back at the column of wretched people and shudders. Papa works on the mine. He's not bad. Mama saw them gutting fish too. They do lots of things. I'm not allowed to talk to them if I see them. Nina pulls away from the shutter, clacking it closed. I don't think I want to talk to them. Oh, Nina, I want to see. Nadia pops it open, watching as the people continue past. Nina frowns, absently poking a finger into the soft gray soil, her heart pounding. She grasps Nadia's hand, squeezing and stroking her thumb. Nadia, I don't want to look. Nadia looks down at their hands, then back up at Nina. She pushes the shutter closed, looking her friend in the eye. Oh, okay, she says. Okay. We don't have to. What do you want to do? The 2 girls stand, eyes locked, hands joined. The fear and horror at the gruesome sight they just witnessed begins to fade, and Nadia's warm fingers feel comforting and welcome. Nina's chest expands and her mouth goes dry. She drops Nadia's hand and smiles. Let's go get the boys when they least expect it. Nadia grins and they run for the door. So Nina, you look down at, now almost 8 years later, at Nadia's slack, pale face, and what is going through your mind?
It's kind of like, it's more than worry. It's, so Nina can't, she's like, I can't breathe. Can somebody please, is she breathing? So very short sentences, and I reach for her, and I like grab her very firmly, and bring her to me, and I'm trying to shake her, like, wake up, you need to wake up, and I'm screaming for a medic or anybody simultaneously, to please help, and there's a lot of noise happening, and it's kind of coming in and out of Nina's ears, and I hear someone like wailing, kind of, but I'm not quite sure where it's coming from. I feel like it's coming externally, and I'm just hugging her close to me and screaming at her to wake up, and then I guess it's me screaming, right? So I'm just looking for help. I try to drag her out of the plane, which is a little heavy.
You feel a firm hand on your shoulder, and the rest of you see Yaroslava, who is another one of the pilots in her regiment, and she leans in and says, "Nina, she's alive. You're hurting her." And she kind of points down, and you see for the first time that her legs are twisted at an unnatural angle. And as Nina's holding her, you can see she's taking in shallow breaths, but she looks very pale. And it looks like she may have lost a lot of blood. She's taking in shallow breaths,
okay.
But she looks very pale.
So I kind of snap to it, and I'm like, Nadia, you idiot, wake up!
Lost a lot of blood.
Just get up! You have to move. And I try to straighten out her legs a little, and try to a little more gently, right? But I try to straighten out her legs and see where she's bleeding from.
And as you go to reach for her legs, they're broken. They're not. Something happened while she was in the cockpit, or maybe while she was being pulled out, and that caused this damage. And there's sort of a trail of blood coming from the cockpit, and you can see there's more blood coming from her legs.
Okay, so I'd like to put my hands on where the blood is coming from generally, to try to apply a little pressure and just scream for help, for somebody to please help me carry her.
Yaroslava stands up. She limps a couple of feet over and picks up a stretcher, and she kind of drags it over to you limping and says, "All right, let's get her on here, girls."
Ira's going to help lift Nadia up onto the stretcher, and then move to her friend Nina and try her best to hold her back, because knowing Nina, she's probably not wanting to let go at this very moment. So Ira's gonna try helping with crowd control, to put it best.
Yeah, so you are able to successfully get Nadia onto the stretcher, and Yaroslava takes up one end and begins kind of hobbling over to the tent where people are being treated. There's kind of like a makeshift space that has been created for the many injured people. Thank you, Cool, for the bits. And as you make your way across, you can see seeing your friend so badly injured. You haven't been really focusing on anything but helping people. And as you look up, the camp is chaos. There's people dragging bodies across the ground. Others are crawling from underneath wreckage. There's groans and screams filling the air. And you can see across the camp, a German plane crashed on your runway, and you can see a group of men trying to remove it. And the thought occurs to you, you're not going to be able to take off with that plane on the runway. It looks like the medical staff is running ragged, and it looks like the mechanical team is trying to manage this fallen plane situation. So where do the four of you go to help?
I think Sasha was trying to help the doctor. So, but at this point, if triage is kind of wrapping up, maybe just moving bodies and other such things.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I think that that Svetlana wants to try to help Nina, but she doesn't know like any good words to say, are kind of just like completely failing her. So instead she heads over to the runway to assist with clearing it.
Ira's going to take Nina's hands, even if they're bloodied, and make her look towards Ira, and she'll kind of simply, in a soft tone, just tell her, just go with her and tell the doctor that you're there to help. You'll be right next to her, and you'll also not get in trouble for not helping. But it's going to be fine.
So Nina's like, okay. And just looks a little bit frantic, but trying to stuff it down. And so I think that Nina would like to follow Ira's advice to go to the medical tent and just offer whatever help might be needed, even if it's just marking folks or like one side or another of the medical tent, like, you know, Pearl Harbor with the lipstick thing. That's what I'm thinking.
Right, sure. Okay, so Ira and Svetlana are going to help with the planes situation.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think because that's what Ira was with Yuri doing, finding missing people. So
Okay. So we will. I want to hear a little bit from chat. What is going on in this medical bay? Give us a couple of NPCs who are suffering from injuries and maybe some medical staff that are helping to treat them. And we'll jump back to there in a moment. But for now, we're going to follow Ira and Svetlana over to the runway. So on the airstrip, you see the men. There's about 3 of them and a couple more running about, but they're struggling to pull this plane off. It is totally busted. There's no way they can start it up. They're using rope, and they've got a broken wing as leverage. But they're not having much success. Any thoughts for what you might do to try to help this get moving a little quicker?
take it apart.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we can't move it in one piece, we'll take it in pieces.
Exactly. Ira's gonna not really shout over them, but she'll just kind of like look at what they're doing and she'll just go, "Idiots, just take it apart." And like start moving towards like the paneling that's she knows is very easy just to, poke here, twist here, and then it'll pop off, and she starts carrying like a piece of like the wing away from the like a large chunk of the wing away from the runway.
Yeah, I think that like they're trying to move something in a very inefficient way, and so it's time to make things efficient.
Yeah.
So when you get there, you see the looks on these men's faces is one of really just shock. They're not really thinking straight. So when you suggest, try dismantling it, take it apart, let's move this thing, they kind of nod and just sort of robotically start going along with it. And you were able to get a few more people to help you clear it out. Yeah, it's a good idea. And now you have maybe a few extra parts for your own planes.
Yeah, we weren't going to say the real reason why we were taking it apart. We're just going to say it's more efficient to do it this way. It's like, we need parts to fix our planes.
Put all these over here somewhere. This whole legend.
Is the pilot of that plane miraculously alive?
You don't see a pilot in the cockpit. Yeah, so you do see some blood in there, like as you're kind of getting in there and moving things around. Seems unlikely that the pilot survived and or escaped. More than likely they've been killed or captured.
Okay.
So while you are squirreling away some parts for your future repairs, Nina and Sasha, you head into the med bay, and you see chat's got some pretty rough. They've put our NPCs through some pretty rough injuries here. You see a pilot, and this is actually. You recognize this pilot because he was one of the ones that was escorting you in your previous mission, and he's lying kind of on his side, and it seems like he kind of has his arms sort of like splayed around him, but then you look closer, you see that he's been impaled by a propeller.
Oh gosh.
And there's various gunshot wounds of people who are in various states of consciousness and quite a lot of pain. You see a doctor that you recognize, and Sasha, you would actually know Dr. Olgov pretty well, Dr. Yosef Olgov, because he took care of you when you were ill for a couple of weeks at your previous duty station. You also see Ooh, I like this one, Eric. Sergeant Zenka Andreevich, running around attempting to triage. I like this. He failed out of medical school, but he got at least 3 good years in, so he's doing okay. The almost doctor is buzzing around. Dr. Olgov spots Sasha, and he is all business. He looks her right in the eye. Sergeant Maslova. He points into the tent. I need gauze, scissors, and a bucket over there.
Yes, sir. So let's immediately turn on our heel and go. You say it's the guy who was escorting us last time was the one who's impaled by a propeller?
That's correct.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go get the bucket. I'm gonna keep note of that.
So you, he's kind of leaning over a bed, and he has a big bottle of vodka, and he gives it to the patient on the bed who has a leg that's been crushed beyond recognition, and he says, "Here, drink." And the man kind of just nods and just drinks, just keeps drinking. And Dr. Olgov kind of wipes sweat out of his eyebrows, out of his brow, leaving a smear of blood. And he says, "Give me the bucket."
I will give him the bucket.
He takes the bucket and puts it at the end of the bed and kind of takes the man's leg and sort of drapes it into the bucket, and begins the process of amputating it.
I'll start unraveling some gauze.
Nina, where do you in this scene of carnage? Where do you go to help?
So I keep an eye out to see where they position Nadia, but I look for somebody in charge to ask for instructions. Like, where do you need me? To the nearest doctor.
Yeah, I think the nearest person who looks like they're in charge would be Sergeant Andreevich, who's our failed medical student. And you know what? I like your lipstick idea. He gives you. He says, "Do you have anything you can mark? Do you have a pencil or something?"
I'm trying to think. Chat, what would? Can I ask Chat what Nina would have to write with?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So yeah, some kind of writing or tinted implement would be nice.
I'm thinking of like somehow potato juice.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not
like a potato dye. I don't think that purple
Is that a
potatoes
thing?
are native to.
Yeah, purple potatoes, yeah. Or like a potato stamp, like
rouge-colored potato starch.
I mean, hey,
Well, why not?
where else are you gonna get lipstick?
Yeah.
I love that one.
Marker
so she
for
can
drawing
draw
faces.
for potatoes.
Special potato marker. Let's we can do a combination of the two.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll use the potato starch that I use to draw faces on my potato.
Okay.
So you've got this, I'm imagining like a small little jar of some type.
That it's a multi-function potato starch. I might use it as blush sometimes, I don't know. Or maybe you adorn my clothing. We'll see.
Okay, all right.
So I'll use that.
Okay, excellent. So he looks at the jar and kind of nods and says, yeah, that'll do. You know what? I just need you to go through and mark the ones that are still alive.
Okay, with a check mark? Is that...
Yeah, sure.
Just put something right on their forehead.
Pretty much.
Alive. Yeah, forehead if you can, or somewhere obvious.
Okay, will do.
Um,
right on it.
So you go through, and you're not really thinking too hard about this task. You're looking for people who are alive, and then you kind of, after a couple of minutes, you start to realize you've like dead, alive, dead, alive, and it kind of dawns on you what you're actually doing. And you don't see Nadia in this. You brought her in. They took her away. You haven't seen her. At last you knew she was alive. And you go through marking everybody. You kind of test to see who responds to stimulus. You're not medically trained, so you're not 100% sure, but you're doing your best. And you by the end you run out of potato starch.
Oh no!
Oh man!
Your face is on your potatoes.
And still no Nadia after running out of potato starch?
She has ended up like in a different section, and so you're seeing a whole bunch of different people. Nadia is not there. I think that Nina might feel hopeful because you're kind of outside of this makeshift tent they've set up, where people are just being brought in and people are being treated a little, usually more within the tent. And so odds are she's being treated. Once you mark them, some of them are being brought in. So it's it might be good that you don't see her, but you don't know for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is the time of night that normally you would be spending dropping bombs. So it is dark. It's a couple of people have some floodlights. There's some flashlights and lanterns out. But you're working by the dark, in the dark of night. And you keep going, each of you, for a couple of hours, accomplishing your grueling and sometimes gruesome tasks, when you hear in your camp there are loudspeakers on poles, and suddenly cutting through whatever you're doing, you hear, "Pilots of the 588th report for briefing."
Shit.
Report for briefing. Assuming I'm not currently holding a bucket full of leg.
It happened like just as the leg falls into the bucket, you hear this, and Dr. Olgov looks at Sasha and down at the leg and says, "Get rid of that and go to your briefing."
I just toss it in the woods.
Get rid of that.
Salute. I'm sure we have a refuse pile somewhere around.
Yeah. There's probably a dead pile somewhere. Yeah.
Oh,
Thanks for
yeah,
those
this,
bits, Eric.
Well, before we go into the briefing, I do want to mention we do have 1 mission point right now, and we are very close to 2. We have 88 points left until we get another mission point. If you would like to explain what that means for us,
Absolutely. Thanks for reminding me. So this mission point comes to us thanks to the generous contributions of Cool and Eric. The way this game works is our team goes on bombing missions, and when they're on bombing missions, they roll dice to see how well they do. And if they get a chance to, if they maybe are going to fail, they can use their mission pool to help them succeed. So I've somewhat modified the game to make it a little bit tougher to succeed, because I knew that you, our fabulous people in chat, would be giving us all these bits and donations and adding to the mission pool, increasing their chances of success.
And
so
it has been very helpful.
Yes, it has. It's kept them alive.
There have been sessions where we wouldn't have survived without those. So
They are the 4 luckiest women in the Soviet Army, I think. Thanks to you. So normally it's a day-night cycle, and during the day you can add to that mission pool. But I make it a night-day-night cycle, so they don't get such great odds, and I give them an extra attack run too. So all that to say, thank you to all of you who have kept the Night Witches alive, and
Please
Thank you
keep doing
to-
it.
Yeah, that would be grand.
This is our home
for them.
stretch.
This is it.
Done.
This is it. This war claimed a lot of lives, and their odds would have been pretty terrible regardless. So if you can help that would be great. Cool again. Thanks.
We have 2 mission
That's
points
for
right
this
now.
night,
4
right?
points.
Yes.
That's for this night, yeah.
Those points don't carry over either, chat. So, yeah. I do have an idea though for because Ira hears the announcement and she's with Yuri helping the basically rationing out vodka to those who are injured, and she has her own stolen stash that she's been rationing out. And she hears that and she gives him a look like you've got this type of thing, and she goes to run off, stops, runs back, takes a swig of the vodka, hands it back, and runs off again.
Love it. Love it.
Briefing.
Okay, so you enter the briefing room, and you see for the first time in quite a while Maria Raskova herself. She is the founder of the 588th, standing at the front of the room, and she's waiting for you. Generally, you wait for them, but this time she's standing. Her eyes are sparking. Her jaw is set. She looks determined, and she looks angry. And she stands in front of you as you gather. It's very quiet in the room. You could hear a pin drop. And as soon as everyone's there, which doesn't take long, she says, "Pilots, we don't have much time. The Germans have funneled much of their resources into this attack, leaving a column of ill-defended territory.
Damn right.
We have a chance to hit them where it hurts them most, behind the blue line in the village of Tommen. And you know that the blue line is a heavy is the line that denotes a heavily defended area to the west. This is what you've been fighting against, keeping that blue line from moving toward you, so that they take the oil from the Caucasus region. And their defenses have been kept locked tight, so they have pushed further in and left themselves exposed. This is part of a bold push forward. It is time to strike while you can. So hearing about the blue line makes, all of you are kind of puckering a little bit, because this is dangerous. There's going to be heavily defended, even if they've lost some of their defenses. And she continues on, "I need 3 sections to fly in over land, where you're certain to be facing anti-aircraft artillery, and 3 to fly in over the sea, where the dangers are unknown." And she kind of looks around the room and starts showing you on the map where you're going to be flying in. And it's kind of a peninsula that pinches off where this village is. And so you can fly in from the east over land, where you're going to get lots of fire, or you can kind of swing around south and then north. I mean, that seems less risky, but who knows what ships are there and what other dangers you might face. So I will let you decide which one you would like to do.
Ooh. Man.
Ira would immediately choose to adventure past that the ocean, where you don't know what's going to happen there.
Yeah, I think over water.
Yeah, I'd say so. Let's go for it.
All right. Let's do it. Okay, so she goes through the briefing. She assigns your section to fly in over the ocean, and she pauses for a moment and scans the room. And this is a woman of intense presence, of great power, and it feels like she's looking into each of your souls, and she says, "If you succeed, the tide could turn. We could push them back. There is a moment of absolute silence. And Yaroslava breaks it with a clap. Well, then what are we waiting for? Bring on the guns!
I love this woman. And she's gonna die. It's gonna be sad.
The whole room is erupts in sort of like, not cheers, but like, we can do it. Yeah, you're kind of pumping each other up. There also there are some male pilots in here as well. Roscoe indicates them and says, the 218th, I know you've worked with them before, will be escorting you with their elite section. They will be bringing you to the village. There's no horsing around this time. The pilots that are there are very serious and look, it's a different group than you had worked with before. And they nod and you are dismissed to go find your planes.
Whew. Okay.
So, on our first run, we always pick a wayfinder and a pilot and 2 Vedamaya who are going to be the supporting planes for the section. And I think I will get Svetlana to make the assignments this time.
Ooh, okay. I think that our gutsiest person should definitely be flying the main plane. So I think Sasha will be the pilot. Let's see. And I think that the navigator should be Nina. I think with her potato in there too, I think we'll be fine. And
potato is the thing that's driving us home, man.
And Ira and Svetlana will be running Vidamaya.
Okie doke. So you are assigned to your planes. Which planes do you take? I can remind you the names of our planes. We've got Baba Yaga, which works best when a potato is strategically placed within it. Yep. Valeria, named for Svetlana's mother. And Sudenica, the love potato, which smells of pine.
Yeah. Dreamy plane that is.
I have the most regard for Valeria, so that's where Sasha will head.
Alright. I'll take the love potato. That smells like pine.
Good choice.
Alright. So I guess that puts Nina in Baba Yaga. So we've got...
no, Nina's gonna... Ira's gonna be in Baba Yaga.
I don't mind Baba Yaga.
Because Nina's flying navigator with Sasha.
Got it. Okay, perfect. So as you are... so as you leave the briefing and you begin to head to your planes, one of the male pilots jogs up next to our wayfinder, which is Nina. He approaches you. He's a small man, but has a very kind of quiet, powerful bearing, not one that you've really spoken with before. And he looks at you very seriously and says, "Are you wayfinding?"
I am. I look at him just as seriously.
All right. I can try to fly out in front of you and do my best to let up your target and guide your way. It takes some timing. Our planes are faster than yours, but I've run with these biplanes before, so it might feel... And he kind of hesitates. It might feel like you're going to run into me, but you just have to trust me. I'll get out of the way.
Oh, shit.
Sounds good. Will do.
Okay.
Put my trust in you.
He nods and says, "Good luck out there." I'm Thomas.
Nina. Very nice to meet you, sir.
All right, let's get him.
Some of my
And
favorite names.
Mhm.
For
and he
multiple
kind of,
reasons.
it's a lovely name. And he kind of rubs his hands together, and as he's walking away, sort of casually tosses over his shoulder, and don't fall into the ocean.
Oh yeah, no, that's absolutely great advice. Fantastic.
Ira's
Great
like
advice.
looking between these two as she's leaning on Baba Yaga, and she gives like Nina this look like a like, and she like hops in her plane.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I think okay, so Cool asks, where is Yaroslava going? You hear that Yaroslava is flying over land. She's in one of the sections that is flying over land.
I have a
Ooh,
question.
okay.
Mhm.
Is Yaroslava an actual real life pilot, or is she someone that you made up for the campaign?
She's one of the NPCs that I met up with Cool.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because
Yeah, he was our stream boss a couple of times. He, she, sorry, Cool. I don't mean to misgender you. So we made a couple of
Nice.
NPCs together.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Fingers crossed she can make it back.
Yeah, it was one of those things where no, not Yaroslava. The what's her face? Our Sergeant General lady dude.
The one that was doing the briefing today?
Yeah,
Yeah, she was real.
she's a real person.
Yes.
Did she
Yeah.
live?
Maria Riskova, yeah. She actually did start the 588th, and
Did she survive at all?
you know what? I actually don't know.
Oh, thanks for the follow, Jack.
Yay! I want to say yes, but I'm not 100% sure. So I guess that kind of works for our narrative, though, because we don't know either. We don't even know
Yeah.
who's going to win the war.
Nope.
Yeah.
But this is a key moment for the Russian army, and you know it as you launch your plane and fly up into the air. You take your planes over a dark, inky black ocean with you're flying over patches of fog, in and out of patches of fog, and you get off the ground first. The 518th is going to come in after you, since they always are able to outrun you, essentially, because they're so fast. And you're kind of wobbling on your wood and canvas planes with these heavy bombs. And as you approach the town, the fog ahead of you lifts, and you're able to see very clearly this village. And you can see there are tanks lined up, ready for some kind of offensive. You see huge amounts of supplies. You see this is a massive camp. And this fog, just like I said, just kind of lifts away. But as you go forward, you see the reason this fog is gone is that there's a very intense wind just as you're approaching this heavily armed village. So I think this heavy wind is going to make wayfinding more difficult.
Oh.
So what that means is when you are wayfinding, so normally when you roll a 7 to 9, you choose one consequence. But if you roll a 7 to 9, you'll choose 2. And on a failure, you will have 3 consequences.
Oof.
Which is all of them. So, fortunately for you, Thomas is coming and planning to give you a bit of an edge. So we'll see how that plays out with your roll. But Nina, I would like you to roll a wayfinding check, which is plus skill.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
You
Okay.
got this.
Yeah, no, totally. I can do. I just need like just a sec. Okay, and now I will quit.
Yeah.
I need everybody shut up. I got this.
You shut up! I said shut up!
Hey, that's not bad.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
You have
Okay.
rolled an 8. Okay. I have 2 songs playing here. Hang on. There we go. Yeah, so in this case, you will have to choose 2 consequences. You have the option of tempting fate, or you can use your 2 mission pool points to make this an unqualified success. What would you like to do?
Does it have to be? Because yeah, no, we got an 8, so it would only push me up to 9 if I used one. Okay, well, my lovely pilot. What would you prefer?
I don't think you want the ones I prefer. I always go for the worst ones.
So I'm thinking. I don't know if I want to tempt fate because I feel like that might make it worse. So I'm thinking of either taking 2 harm, so we could suffer mechanical failure, which means something will happen when we're landing, right? Like we have to do a wheels down.
That's right. You'll have to do a wheels down roll.
And then we can split a fire, or we can try to survive enemy fire. You want to go bold and survive enemy fire along with mechanical failure?
We can give it a try.
Guys
All
are
right,
fucking
mechanical
insane.
failure. So your plane is damaged, and we're triggering enemy fire. So I'm going to get you to roll plus luck.
And that's me, right?
That
Or-
is you, yes.
Okay. And my luck is 0, so
Yay!
That was a
I was gonna say, it's better than Levin's, which is a negative.
So yeah, as you're going through, you're not 100% sure, and you see on the shore they've spotted you. There's an anti-aircraft gun, and it swivels towards you, starts to fire, and just as this is happening, you hear another plane screaming in from behind you, and you know that Thomas is there. Go ahead and roll plus luck.
Oh, Thomas, don't get shot down.
Thomas. Okay. So same as last time, mixed success. You will choose. There are 2 consequences to choose from. You can tempt fate as well. Your possible consequences are you and your fellow airwomen, that would be Sasha, are marked. Splitting some harm, plane damaged. That you might not want to do that one again. And or another plane in your section, my choice, goes down.
Huh. Tempting fate is what, guts?
Yeah.
And
I believe
plus 1 guts.
And you have your lucky potato.
I do have my lucky
I
potato,
still think
and
you should get a bonus holding your
it's a
lucky.
special one today.
Yeah?
Yeah, you know, I ran out of the potato starch, the tinted
Oh, yeah.
thing, so I carved a face in, which is rather permanent.
Yeah.
And I feel like that gives me an extra, so I am gonna tempt fate. And please forgive me if I fuck it up.
Plus guts.
Another 7. God damn
Another
it.
7.
Oh.
What is up with 7s today?
I mean, they're better than a 6.
Good.
Okay.
Silver linings.
Yeah.
So, Nina, you see this gun beginning to swivel. And this was a enemy fire, yeah.
Yeah.
And you hear Thomas's voice in your head. You're gonna feel like you're gonna hit me, but just trust me. And that's exactly how you feel right now. Like you are just kind of on his tail. Like there's a chance you might connect there. And you're pretty sure that if you can maneuver yourself in between the gun and Thomas, you'll be able to take the hit. But if not, he's going down, or at very least is going to be damaged. So you have a choice to make. Do you get your pilot to navigate into the fire, or let Thomas take the hit.
I'm sorry, Scrim. What'd you say would happen if I asked my pilot to kind of get in the middle?
Yeah, so if you get Sasha to she can't see much. It's pitch black, right? So she's trusting you to tell her where to go. You see there's a way that you can prevent Thomas from getting hit. But that will cause more damage to your plane. You can swerve in between Thomas and the guns, or you can just trust him and let him continue on his way, most likely guaranteeing that he's going to get hit.
I'm so sorry, Cool. I have seen your message. in all caps.
Is there a way? Because we have 2 Vetemaya with us. We have
You do.
And Cassie are Vetemayas, if I remember correctly.
That's right. So our 2 Vetemaya do have the option at any point to take one of the consequences from another aircraft. In this case, because Nina tempted fate, I'm offering a hard choice.
Yeah.
She needs to make this choice. However, there is a chance the Vetemaya can take the hit as well. On a second damage plane rather than double damage on a single plane or possible damage to Thomas's plane.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking damage to help you guys out. That's
Okay.
that's what we're there for. So.
He did say to trust him.
He did.
I'm seeing you, chat.
did.
Damn it. These hard bargains are the worst. I
Man.
don't want to disappoint anybody. Okay.
You're doing fine. You got this. If it happens, it happens.
I think my alignment is showing when all I'm like, I want to live. He can take the hit. But
So I'm gonna trust Thomas. He told me to trust him, and so I'm gonna trust him, and I'm gonna advise that Sasha and I just trust him.
All right. So you continue on. You get that feeling like, oh, we're gonna get him, we're gonna hit him, and then you end up narrowly missing as he dodges into the enemy fire, and you see he takes a hit. He definitely takes a hit, and if he takes another one, his odds are pretty bad. Unless the Vetemaya swoops in to take it for him. All right.
so
Well,
he's
is it now or later? You just or
Yeah. And no obligation. And he's not part of your section, so you don't he's kind of an extra, an escort. So totally up to you if you want to take that hit from Thomas. But also okay if you are flying, keep flying.
I mean, if he's still up, that's fine. If he takes it, if it was like he is going to take another hit, then I will take it.
Okay. And Eric makes a good point that he's flying a fighter pilot that is much more robust than your flying brooms. So he's probably gonna be okay. But
He's fine. He's fine for now.
He's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, that was oof, gee, that was awesome. Okay, so it is time for our attack run. Sasha, you are listening to Nina as she's telling you where to go, and it's I mean, you really got to trust your navigator because she's throwing you into this wind, just about into a fellow pilot, and you almost crash and almost take enemy fire. And she points out the target, and Thomas, true to his word, lights it up for you. Roll plus guts.
Yeah, I trust Nina. After our last encounter together, she's a true friend.
Oh yeah, don't you get a bonus for being near her or something like that?
No.
I don't think you have regard for her.
No, I don't have any regard.
Um,
I got an 8.
You got an 8.
Nice.
Okay, so you can take some consequences. You can tempt fate, or you can spend the mission pool. What would you like to do?
Ooh, we still gotta land.
Yes, you do still have to land.
I will tempt fate. We'll see if we've
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
For.
Oh, great.
Tempting
Talk
fate.
about guts.
Alright,
Okay.
so
Oh, yeah.
roll guts again.
Mm-hmm.
those 7s! I swear.
Shit.
Alright, so what I.
boy. Okay, so your attack is successful. But let's see. And I'll tell you what your target is. Oh, thank you, cool.
We now have 3
Um,
mission points.
3 mission
Nice.
points.
Could I just spend them and do?
You know what? I will allow that. You can.
I don't
spend
want
it.
Thomas to die.
Yeah, Thomas is definitely gonna die. I think Cool knew that too.
I will empty our bowl for the 3, and we just, thanks to Thomas's quick maneuvering, we're able to get in there and light it up.
Nice.
Yeah, you line it up, you drop the bombs, and Thomas just barely, because of some magical influence from the outside world, it seems, is
the
able
potato.
to escape the massive explosion. You drop these bombs, and you have never seen such an explosion on your runs. You've hit the target right next to the tanks, and you're able to surmise this is where they were keeping some fuel.
Yes.
It is just being destroyed, and you kind of have a sense of poetic justice because they're here to steal your oil, and you just fucked up theirs. So that feels pretty damn
Yeah.
good. And Thomas survived.
Yay!
So you head back to your base, and you are on
Oh my gosh.
the last fumes of your tank. You have canvas flapping on the backs of your wings, and you're feeling a little wobbly. You have some damage to your plane. So I'm gonna get my my pilot, that would be Sasha, to roll wheels down, which is plus skill.
Alright.
Alright.
Okay.
Plus skill. Okay, so what you got? Tempted
I
fate,
got
taking
Another 7.
Let's see.
Of course.
Just do it. Tim, you got this.
Fate.
got
Let's just
this.
keep
You have
going.
you have no
I say
mission to
tempt
left.
fate.
I think I've only got -1 luck. What's the first tempt fate will happen? It's fine. It's
Tempt
fine.
fate is guts, so
Yeah, it's got. So I'm more worried about what happens when it fails.
Yeah.
You did it! You
Nice.
did it! Look at you guys.
Oh,
Good
man.
stuff.
We're alive.
Give us Sasha, give us a quick description of how you just barely managed to land your plane.
Nice.
I think this is like the 3rd time, 4th time.
She's a master.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You're getting a reputation.
Yeah, so I imagine we're not lined up. It's dark still, and we're not lined up right with the runway, and we just crest over trees. You can hear like the tops of them hit the bottom of the plane as we then manage to pull it around and get even with the runway and.
All right. You managed to make it wheels down. Your Vetemaya unscathed, and
Woo.
Thomas lands a few minutes after you, and leaps out of the cockpit and goes directly to Nina and Sasha.
Oh my.
and his face is just ecstatic, and he's just, did you see that? Oh man, I knew you had it, and I'm so glad you trusted me. I took a hit, and he points over at his plane. It's totally fine. There's no problem. Oh god, and that explosion! I don't think their tanks are gonna run for a year. And he gives both of you like big hugs, and is just like high-fiving and chatting with other pilots.
Oh, nice.
Sorry, Nina. Sasha is so like giddy, and like this they barely pulled this one off, and all the enemy fire. I think she just, when he goes to like go up, she just grabs him and like gives him a big kiss, and then realizes what she did, and like takes a step back, and just like.
So Nina's face does exactly this when that happens. That's the face.
Oh man.
And then she goes, see, I told you, good potato. You got a kiss, you got a hug. We live. All good things.
And he turns like beet red. He's just like and sort of steps back, and it gets really awkward, and says,
yeah, so great.
Okay, good
work, ladies.
Good run. Okay, and like kind of like backs up, does an awkward like, and then turns around and like
finger
speed walks away. I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Excellent.
See, lighthearted. First a guy's getting his leg cut off, and then random
lighthearted family fun.
Success. Bring the kids. Okay, well let's cut the tense music, and you now have a day to kind of that didn't kill it. You now have a day to rest up. And we were chatting before stream about an early break, but I think we can keep moving through our day.
Sure.
We can do our day. Everything's sorted on my end.
All right.
So
daytime.
We can move over to the day. Good morning, everyone. The sun is rising, and as it rises, you see this orange, and it gives you flashes of that massive explosion, and people are coming up to you because Thomas has been spreading it around. Everybody's been talking about how successful your run was, and everybody's adrenaline is just sky high after that attack. Everybody lost someone they knew, or at least is worried about somebody in the sick bay, and everybody's just vibrating. You barely really can even imagine how you can rest now,
right?
But yeah, you have the day to sleep, eat, talk with people, check up on people. What's the first thing that you're gonna do? You're exhausted. It's been a long ass night.
I was gonna say, we still have harm, don't we?
Yeah, you still have harm. Now, if you spend the day, if you don't do any moves, then you won't be harmed. Your harm goes away because it's just like a night of rest. That'll take away one harm. But if you want to do anything, then you will add one to that harm. And your final run, you'll be going in with 2.
Yeah.
So Nina's running to the med tent.
I would imagine.
Medical bay. And I'd like to look for Nadia and just hopefully find her and fall asleep like nearby.
Okay.
Anywhere nearby.
I think that the med tent, things have settled down a little, but it's still enough of a scene of chaos that in order to find her, I'm going to need an eyeball move from you. So that'd be plus skill.
But that would mean that I would take a second harm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're kind of like in a stuck predicament where we want to roleplay our characters in this last morning, but we're all hurt.
I'm still gonna
Whatever.
do something.
Yeah, so
Like,
this
just
is our
getting
last.
going.
This is our
You
last
want-
shot. This is
We
our
all
last
survived
game.
This entire campaign, something we're not true to realism here. Come on, Gotta kill
Yeah,
it,
keep in
Christy.
mind your adrenaline is high. You feel
Yeah.
like you can do anything right now. The harm isn't going to come to bear until much later.
Yep.
At least so you think. You're also like all 18, so feel invincible.
That's fair. Okay, so I'll do an eyeball.
Okay.
And that is skill, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Jesus. This is like fucking rolls, man.
Rolls, man.
Oh,
God.
oh
Oh my
man.
God.
Well, at least you didn't do that during the run.
Right?
Always
Yes.
like the silver linings.
Yeah.
I'm helping it. It's a RPG tabletop trait that you need to take with you everywhere you go.
Ira's so good at that.
Thank you. I try.
Yeah, you're not able to find her on your own. That doesn't mean you're not able to find her. You're gonna have to
Maybe
get some
ask
help.
for help. Okay. Any chance I could find the doctor that we know, the one who helped Sasha a little while ago?
Yeah. You're able to track down Dr. Olgov. You're there for like half an hour and you're like, what? I can't. Where is she? What? And you're getting more and more worried. And he clearly hasn't slept in at least 36 hours. And you see him, bags under his eyes, stuff stuffed into his pocket, and he's kind of like chewing on a bloody fingernail, and his hands kind of shaking as he looks around, and he's trying to kind of assess the situation. He sort of is pausing for a moment.
So I very apologetically ask if he's seen Nadia, or if he can tell me what general direction she's in, and then I would like very much not to bother him anymore, and just let him rest for the minute that he has.
How do you describe Nadia to him?
So Nadia has that scar on her face, right where she was burned. I can't remember if it's right or left side. And she's, oh my God, I can't remember what she looks like. But I know that she has short cropped hair, and soft features, but for like the, her scar. And I feel like that's a pretty defining feature.
Definitely.
It's like visible.
He takes him. It takes him a minute. He says, "Yeah, no, she, the one who lost her legs."
Both of her legs?
Yeah. She's over there.
I thank him profusely, but like not quite catching, I think, what he said, and run over to where he directed me, not like general direction.
Nadia is in the corner of the med bay, on a narrow bed right next to. There's just barely enough space to walk between her cot on the ground and the person next to her. And her lips are chapped, her face is pale, her breathing is shallow, and you can see that both of her legs have been amputated just above the knee. And it's hard to tell if she's sleeping or unconscious. But how do you respond to this sight?
So there's like a short, like that intake of breath where I'm a little bit shocked, and I do the and then I just I steel myself and I move towards her face, and I like brush her hair out of her face to see if she'll wake up, and I whisper like her name, and I say, "It's Nina. Are you okay?"
She doesn't respond. She is in a very deep sleep or perhaps unconscious. And you, as you're watching her, you're surprised to hear the sound of a violin, and you turn and you see Dr. Olgov has taken out his violin and is playing beautiful music over the sounds of these people who are suffering and in pain. A lot of them, with limited medical supplies, are being treated with vodka or not at all for their pain, and so he plays for a long time, maybe about 20 minutes to an hour, as you lay down next to Nadia. She still doesn't respond, and does Nina stay there? Does she?
Yeah, so if I'm falling asleep there, I stay with my hand just kind of on her head, resting there, and just pushing her hair out of the way as I fall asleep.
Yeah, you fall asleep next to Nadia, and it's not terribly restful. She doesn't. You kind of keep checking on her, but she doesn't rouse for most of the day. You kind of hear the noises of people around you, but yeah, staying focused on her. We'll check in with you once you wake up, and let's check in with Svetlana. What's Svetlana?
Well, I am actually very curious to find out how Yaroslava is, because they went overland, and so I'm hoping that she made it back.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. I think that there's sort of a post, and oh, by the way, does Nina skip the debrief? Is she just running away? I think we're supposed to do that.
We were supposed to.
I forgot about it, and then I was like, wait a sec, would she have just...
No, I don't think she would skip the debrief. She would have gone to the debrief and then sprinted out to look for
Okay.
Nadia, yeah. She's not...
Yeah, okay. So let's retcon that, because
okay.
Oops, sorry. Yeah, you are in the debrief, and in limps Yaroslava. She is she's still got whatever injury she had in the attack at night is still clearly bothering her. So she kind of hobbles into the room, and again, Maria Rosovka, I got her name wrong there, is there, and she is she goes up right and stands right in front of Sasha and Nina, and she points at them and says, "You two, that was some excellent flying." And looks around the room. "This is what we need to see. This is what's going to win this war. Excellent work, pilots." And then she walks up to Yaroslava and her section, and kind of crosses her arms and says, What happened out there? And Yaroslava kind of hangs her head, and she says, we were set upon and made the choice to fly back rather than endure further fire, thinking that we could possibly lose the planes if we and Rozovska interrupts her and says, have you not heard the orders of Comrade Stalin? And she turns to the rest of the room and says, not one step back. We go in to our deaths and we do not come back. And she shakes her head and says, you should be ashamed. And sort of makes a dismissive motion to the room. As though she's about to dismiss you. Do any of you speak up or have anything to say?
I really want to say something because usually Ira does something in the situation.
Go for it.
I wasn't really there, and I also can't think of anything clever and like if I knew history, I would say something back to her about like Stalin or say that he also said this or
jeez,
blah blah blah. But like I can't think of anything clever at the moment. And
Sasha just grabs Ira when she sees she's getting it. Kind of like,
yeah, you just see her fists clench.
Oh man.
Okay. This hasn't come up much. Zealots can publicly shame people.
Yeah, they can.
To add one to the next night's mission.
Yeah. Okay.
Pool.
You know what?
I don't want to influence what you're doing. I just want to make sure.
I've been thinking that. Because I haven't really done a good like public thing for a bit. So. Oh gosh. It's like the. Ooh. Okay. So, she's giving excuses to our commander, and, it's like, cowardice is no excuse for your behavior. If you are a coward, you shouldn't be even in this army. You can march over to the Germans.
Whoa.
Maybe they'll take you.
Yaroslava hangs her head.
Ah, God, I hate being...
You got this, you can do this.
Yes.
And there's silence in the room. And Rozovska... off in the corner, as is often there, is Rezanovska, who is the NKVD officer, and she kind of looks down her long nose and does one of these. And Rozovska does a dismissive action and says, "You're dismissed."
Yeah.
And stalks out of the room.
Yeah. Okay.
Add one to your mission pool.
Nice.
For next night.
It's worth it.
And,
yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yaroslava walks out with her section. Two of the women that were flying with her are supporting her under their arms as she limps out.
Oh man. So yeah, I knowing that I need to make sure that all of the not like that no negative things come towards me, like as soon as I see an opening, I will take it to make other people look worse than I am. And so but that doesn't mean that Svetlana feels good doing it. And so I actually now even more so I would like to find Yaroslava later on, hopefully when she's by herself, or somewhere where I can maybe talk to her, reach out, I guess would be the appropriate thing to say. But yeah.
Sure, yeah, okay. We'll put a pin in that. You leave the debrief, Nina makes a beeline for the hospital, and we'll check in with Svetlana and Yaroslav in a moment. What about Sasha and Ira? What are they up to?
You want to go first, Sarah?
No, you go. I don't really know what Ira's gonna do yet. I'm still thinking.
Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. Are you ready?
Sorry, I am being called away. Can I
take our break?
Yeah.
Yeah,
can
is
take
that
a
okay
break
if
right
we
now. Yeah.
take a break
Yeah.
right away?
Do you need it to be 15? Because I can make that happen.
Yeah, let's set it for 15 just in case.
Okay.
And
Make sure that's
we
there.
will go with that.
Okay.
So yeah, Ira and Sasha, you have some time to think. Everybody sitting in suspense on what poor Yaroslava's gonna feel like.
I know.
And
Yeah.
yeah, very interesting.
Okay. So we will be right back.
Okay, doke. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
All right. Welcome back, everybody.
Yay!
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It has been already such a nail biter tonight.
Yes.
I am really pumped to see what the second half of the night brings.
Oh man.
We've seen Nadia lose her legs. We've seen Svetlana call out a fellow airwoman.
Yep.
The beloved
in
Yaroslava.
in front of the founder of the regiment and NKVD. So, yay.
Yes.
I'm proud of you, though. Like,
I mean, you got a mission pool point, but was it worth it?
I don't know. I suppose we'll find out.
Hi, Benzie. Thanks for subbing 21 months in a row.
What?
Feels like you like us. Yeah. So let's. We were just about to check in with Sasha and Ira to see what they're going to do during this day cycle. What is up with you, fine folks?
So, narratively speaking, I imagine Sasha has been secretly doing this for years. I forget how long it's been since the siege of Kyiv. But she is going to reach out, and I think as she's gained more renown and a medal, and they're doing better, she's reaching kind of like overextending a little bit more and more to see who else she could find. But I'm reaching out to see if we can find any information about any of our brothers.
Okay.
That's just a straight roll.
That's right. It is just a straight roll. Now, yeah, let's go ahead and get that roll.
It's a 7.
7. That is a very common. I mean, it's the most common possible roll. But you guys have modifiers on this.
It's been pretty common today. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Cool. So,
do
we have another mission?
Yep.
Nice.
So that we're at 2 right now, I think.
That's
or 3.
right. Yes, you're at 2.
Okay.
I believe it is 2. So how do you reach out exactly? Is this through letter? Is this are you trying to find someone who might know?
Mostly through letters, just like sending mail to more and more people I know, maybe more and more like regiment contacts, or we probably first start with like neighbors and people that maybe we can find, people from kind of back home, and then as we get more and more into the military, to different regiments or infantry units, especially ones who are in and around still on the Western Front. Is it west? East? What direction are we going? West.
We are on the Western Front.
We are
east. Going west. Yes, we are east.
And or people who are in charge of recruiting personnel, and like I said, probably starting out very low level, and then as she's gained a little more confidence, like reaching higher and higher.
Okay.
Trying to find any information.
Okay, excellent. So you have been you've been writing to commanding officers of various units, and maybe mid-level officers, maybe commanding officers might be beyond your reach because they're generals who are leading this. And you haven't heard back. So you kept trying to reach out, and when you go to check your post, you see that you have a letter. Now everything is kind of in disarray at the moment because of the attack. So it takes you a little bit of time, but you end up getting a letter in reply. And this is actually the very first letter that you've gotten in reply. Most of the time, people do not answer you back. So you have, because you got a 7 to 9, you have the option of removing a harm from you and your friend. So this is meant if you're reaching out to someone else. So you can remove a harm from yourself. You can alter a currently filled regard slot or add one to the mission pool. Which one are you hoping to do?
Probably remove one harm from myself and Ira. If I find out any information about our brothers, kind of relieving that stress, even if we know they're gone, but just have some like closure or hope. Yeah, one of the two.
So this unit that you wrote to is an infantry unit. It's further north on the front, north even of Kiev, and you receive in response. There are 3 sheets of paper. Each one has a name of one of your brothers on it. The first one is for Gabriel, and it has a reassignment. It's telling you where he's been reassigned. The second for Makar, and it says that he is missing in action. And the final one for the youngest of your 3 brothers, Vadim, is a death certificate.
Okay, so yeah, once I've kind of probably processed those, I've probably cried after like, say, years of trying to find this information. Once I've kind of got my composure again, I will kind of leave our barracks and go find Ira and just take those letters to her.
Okay. Ira, how do you react to this news?
Yeah, I think Ira would be out near the planes helping the men fix up their planes after they've been shot down and stuff. Or shot up. And she's sitting on the top of the plane itself, smoking and leaning back, relaxing, taking a break. And as she hops down, seeing her sister come up, she reads over the letters and she reads over them again. And she just falls to her knees and starts sobbing. And it's a mixture of relief and closure and just everything being piled on top of one another. And then she slowly gets up and hugs her sister really tightly and just keeps looking at the paper, and that's pretty much it, I think. She's just really thankful that at least now we know, and one of them seems to be alive, and the other one is gone. But Ira's still hopeful that Makar is still safe, even though he's missing in action. But she also never really knew her brothers that well. She vaguely remembers their faces, even their voices. After so long and being the youngest in the family.
Okay. I need to step away for just a minute, okay. So I'll let the 2 sisters talk it out. And I will be right back to we'll wrap up our day moves.
Okay.
So yeah, Sasha probably focuses most on Gabriel's letter. I don't think we ever talked about it really on their age ranges, but we did have like there was a lot of us. We were 6 kids in total.
Yeah, we had a lot of kids.
Yeah, and Gabriel's the oldest. I imagine that he's like in his 30s or 40s. Like I imagine there's probably a big age gap between Ira and Gabriel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Sasha would be ecstatic that one of them is still alive, kind of almost ignoring the other 2 letters because it kind of played up what she already thought was going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's that realization where it's like, yeah, we knew that was going to happen and have a cry about it, but then move on very quickly.
I think Sasha will immediately we should write him. We don't know where we know where he last was, you know. And
yeah. I mean, he's being reassigned, right? Like we should be able to write him.
Absolutely. He needs to know we're still alive.
I actually I have all these letters that I've been saving up for them. I just, haven't been able to really send them, so.
Now we know where.
Yeah.
Yay.
I don't have that much dialogue.
No, there's not much else to say. Like,
I mean, gosh.
yeah.
That's...
We'll find the rest of our team and share this.
there you
Yeah.
go.
Share this
There we go.
moment. Imagine, especially because Sasha had kind of given up all hope. So the fact that even one of them is still alive, I think she'd want to tell everyone. Though maybe not Nina being the first one if Nina's in the hospital still grieving over her friend.
And half sleeping apparently. So
Yeah. Find Svetlana, maybe she's around.
Yeah. I think that you would be able to find me relatively easily. Yeah. So I see the two sisters. I see the two sisters walking up to me, and I'm like, okay.
That's literally
What have
how
they-
I imagined.
What have they?
Oh yay!
What have they been conspiring to, and what are they going to be telling me?
Right? Especially when we're all probably suddenly we're looking happy and ecstatic after being morose and depressed and all this other nonsense.
Right?
Going on.
Injured.
Yeah.
Nice.
Are they drunk?
Are they drunk? Are they bringing vodka? Oh, okay. So I'll be like, nod my greetings to the both of you, and not resting?
No, I've got letters back finally. My brother Gabriel's still alive.
Really?
He's being resigned.
That's fantastic news. And and Svetlana is genuinely excited. Her facial expressions she usually everything is very kept together, and this is one of the few moments where a genuine smile on her face. She's so excited. She jumps up out of her chair and goes over and gives you the biggest hug, and then realizes that you're related to him too, and you just found your brother, and gives you so family finding family. This is a huge deal for her. So to have even if she can't have it, knowing that somebody that she respects is able to have that kind of closure and that excitement back is really important for Svetlana. So yeah, that's so cool. That's wonderful news.
I can't wait to write
hooray!
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Motherhood calls. And may call again because he's not sleeping. Yeah, you have this little celebratory moment, and chat, let me know if they didn't behave while I was gone.
We just gave ourselves 50 mission points.
50 mission
Yes,
pools.
it was just great.
Congratulations.
No.
We totally got that many donations when you were gone.
I should remind myself of the tally. It's at 2 now.
It is at 2.
Yeah, it's 2.
Okay, perfect. All right. Nina still sleeping. Ira, Svetlana, was there any other day moves you're planning to make?
Yeah, so I had been pretty much brooding in my own self-loathing, and then they kind of pulled me out of it, and realizing that this woman, Yaroslava, is a genuinely caring person, and from what Svetlana has seen of her, very generous with her in general. Let's just say that. So, and then that that moment of her kind of connecting her to Svetlana's own mother, and having that kind of not having knowledge of where she is anymore, and you was what would your mother say about how you treated this person, kind of thing in my head, right?
Yeah.
And so I want to find Yaroslava, and I don't know what I'm going to say to her when I get there. I feel like I need to find her and try to express to her that how shitty I feel about what I did.
Okay.
And hopefully it comes out that way. I don't know, because it'll depend on how well my reach out roll goes.
So Yaroslava, you find her in the mess hall eating breakfast just before bed with a few other pilots from her section. They're sitting and chatting in fairly serious tones. They all look quite, it's not really a friendly laughter kind of thing. It seems like they're talking about something serious.
Yeah, for sure. Probably about how much they hate me. That's okay.
And I will note they're all sergeants. You do outrank them all.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm gonna use that outranking thing. I'm gonna like do my uniform thing happening, right? And just make sure that like I put my game face on, the I'm in charge of all of you people face on. Okay. Yeah, and I march up to their table, and I look at each of them in turn. I'm pretty sure that they just went silent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they all kind of look at you.
Yeah, and Sergeant Yaroslava.
Yes.
The rest of you are dismissed.
There's one person who hasn't finished their food, and they're just like,
I don't care.
They hesitate for a beat and then pick up their plates and move to a table across the room. And Yaroslava is sitting very stiff and staring straight ahead.
I will sit down with my back to the rest of the people who just left, facing her. And I guess maybe now I should do my role, because that will probably determine how I actually say what I'm gonna say. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and the rules as written is when you reach out, you reveal a significant new truth, and we can interpret that very loosely.
Yeah.
So go ahead and give that a roll.
Okay.
That will be just straight D. 2
Oh,
6.
fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh. So I stare at her for a long time, an uncomfortably long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I can bring myself to apologize with a 4.
Okay.
But like, how, I don't know if I can really, I don't have any way to connect with her otherwise, so I'm gonna do my best, I guess.
You can maybe try to give just the shittiest apology you can imagine.
Yep, pretty much.
Apologies are for Germans.
Right? Right?
Being
Exactly.
an officer means never having to say sorry.
Your actions last night were unacceptable.
Yes, Junior Lieutenant, I'm aware.
I understand the choice that you made. I don't respect that choice.
Yes, I understand completely. I made an error in judgment it was never my intention to give any advantage to the enemy.
So, and she's like working her way around words right now, and so there's like these uncomfortable pauses like after like every single, because now she's like, why am I here? I outranked this person. This doesn't matter to me. She's gonna be dead tomorrow. So all of this stuff is just kind of rolling through my head now, and I just give like this exasperated sigh. Yeah, like.
Permission to speak, Lieutenant.
I'll look her in the eyes, deadpan. Granted.
Congratulations on your successful run with your section.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And there's like the slightest like break in her voice as she says that. It's very quiet. She doesn't make eye contact. And you remind me very much of my mother. It's just like, and not like, and not even saying in a good way or a bad way, because I think that like let the four pretty much like lets it be however she wants to interpret it at this point. And she's still not making eye contact.
Thank you. I've been, I'm told that a lot.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of like, not trying to sniff, but like she's like hiding a sniff with like taking a very like a deep like breath and setting her face again and looking at her again. And the words are in my head. I apologize. They just aren't coming out of my face hole.
That's me every day.
You have an opportunity to be very influential amongst this unit. I would like it if you would continue your activities, and next time, don't run away.
I apologize for failing you and the team. May I be dismissed?
And I'll give like a short nod. So.
And she awkwardly kind of stands up and then limps over back to the rest of her crew.
Okay. I will sit there for just enough time to like, so she's out of my eyesight, and just like close my eyes for a second, and you're just like, that was fucking stupid. It's like words. I could just say words. I could be nice, I could say, and then why didn't I just say I'm sorry? And just like it's like rolling. The whole thing is just being played back in my head, and I'm just like, fuck it. It's not worth it. So I like throw down whatever was in my hand onto the table, and I stand up and I storm out of the mess hall.
Good job.
Yeah.
Nice and clean.
So great.
We've all been there rolling a 4 on a reach out test.
Right?
Yeah. More than what we actually should be.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, I have upset myself. Svetlana is upset with herself for being, like, number one, even opening her mouth in the debriefing in the first place, but then at the same time, number two, even feeling sorry for doing it, and then number three, feeling that I needed to apologize for it, and number four, not even fucking apologizing and probably making things worse.
I have literally done that in my life.
It's just...
Oh, man. I want Ira to be there and just like sipping on vodka, just being like smooth.
Okay. I need to go handle whatever crisis is happening with the 3-year-old upstairs.
Oh goodness.
So sorry, I have to keep leaving. Yeah. So while I'm gone, let's Ira. We have yet to see a move from you. So do you want to think that through?
I am gonna think. I just don't think I could do that without you. I need like another person.
That's fair. No, that's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
All right.
I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Well, this break is brought to you.
And I guess I removed one harm for myself at Ira, but then I get to add one back because I stayed up all day.
Right?
So...
Yeah.
But Ira is doing better.
I mean, technically, I'm about to do a move, so I will still have one harm. But,
Yeah.
Good.
But we don't have two, so you know. That's the main point.
Oh man.
It's a fair point.
Like, I am looking forward to our last run.
I am too. I'm worried. This
Oh, man.
This break is
How
brought
many
to you
other-
by potatoes.
Like,
two in the pool.
Two in the
yes,
pool.
two right now. And where else are we at right now? Yeah, and we have a full stream boss. So, we'll remind everybody things that you already know.
Yeah.
If you want to help us survive our last bombing run and successfully win against the Germans for the entire game of Night Witches, you can go ahead and give us some bits to the stream boss, which will then help us out with mission pool stuff, and then we'll be alive. And maybe that will mean that we can come back for a sequel later on down the road. Just saying, guys, if you like Night Witches, man, if you like Night Witches and you like what we're doing here, and you want to see us do it again, we all have to be alive at the end of it.
It's true. She has a point. It's not like we can just make new characters and play new stories.
Shh, we can't. Stop it. No, nobody does that. Literally no one.
I think it would be a little weird to play like another campaign with like different people in the same like scenario almost.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be fun.
Oh,
because
shit!
Like, oh my god, chat! Thank you, chat.
Wow.
For all them bits.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh.
They like came in so quickly.
Right?
They were like, okay, let's do this.
Our generous patrons.
And we actually
Take
just
all of my
got
budget.
2 more points. So we have 4
wow.
points now.
4? Alright, we might be able to land now.
Yeah.
Yay.
Land.
Yeah, right? So
Yeah.
that's exciting.
Thank you, chat. You're amazing. I'm a sucker for happy endings.
Right?
I am
It's a-
too.
Oh man. That was awesome. I appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah,
You guys are
chat,
wonderful.
You're the best.
Let's see, what else can we talk about? So, how's housing in Miami there?
It's about non-for-profits.
It's pretty expensive, I gotta say, but I just released a report in my real life that I designed and contributed to, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's news of Sabrina IRL. Yeah.
Should we all give news to IRL people? My news isn't. I don't have news.
Do you have news, Cassie?
What?
You go first.
I don't really have news. Watch the variants every so many Mondays.
Yeah, let's do pluggy stuff.
Play
I
a
was gonna say I
superhero.
have plugs. I don't have news.
Yeah,
Let's go for it.
news. I don't know. I drive home to Missouri on Sunday,
Woo!
maybe Saturday. I haven't decided yet.
Exciting.
Yeah, and get out of Tornado Alley. That'd be nice.
Nice.
Excellent. For sure. Do you have like the sirens there, the tornado sirens? Because those things
assume
Those things
They're
scared
here
the
in Lubbock?
crap out
I've
of me.
never heard them.
Oh my
we
gosh.
definitely have them in Columbia. But we were driving back from ChupacabraCon in Austin, and my phone goes, and it's stormy or whatever, my phone goes off and it's like, tornado warning, seek shelter now. And I'm like, we're in rural Texas on the highway. Seek shelter where? Like,
There's no ditches. Like, I can't.
There's nothing here. We were like, I was like, just speed up. Go faster.
Yeah, just drive.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, we could do a drinking game scene.
I would need to get a drink.
I've got it right now. I've got. Well, you know what? That's
I've
okay.
got water. We'll stick with that.
I could go get vodka if I have some left. I might have rum, but
Because I think after like that whole debacle, Svetlana probably found some alcohol. And
you found Ira's stash.
yeah, I always knew where it was, but I chose to ignore it.
Just refrain.
But yeah, you're gonna come back to like a bottle that's like way less than you thought than you remember. It's like, did I really drink that much?
It's like, did I really drink this much? I wouldn't know, but probably. Like, no. Whenever I hear like weather alerts or like amber alerts, because now you get them on your phone, and like I get them on my phone because I have an iPhone and I have an iWatch, so like they both get them. And I usually get them in like dead of night when I'm trying to sleep, and they're terrifying because it's like when it goes off, and you're like, great,
oh my god,
spooked.
That's terrifying.
And then of course it's usually like, you know, a suspect was seen, look out for this person, please, type of thing in your area. And sometimes they say like they may be armed, and I'm like, well, I'm terrified for my life now, even though it's probably not going to happen. You know, So
nice.
I live in Michigan, so that's all we get. We don't. When we do get tornado alerts, it's like, like it's usually just like a shrug. So yeah, with all like earthquakes and hurricanes, I'm kind of happy that I don't have those, because those I don't know how I would handle them.
Well, it's really easy how you handle hurricanes. If it's anything less than 3 or less, you just buy a bunch of alcohol and have a hurricane party. If it's 4, you may consider also boarding your windows, maybe.
Yeah.
But if it's a 5, generally speaking, if it's a 5 and you're going to be right down that eye wall, that's when you decide, maybe I should go party in some other state that doesn't have the hurricane right now.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I said, yeah, tornadoes aren't, they're nothing to laugh at. But if you live in Michigan as long as I have, it's kind of one of those things that doesn't happen often, and when they do, it's kind of like just, board up your windows, seek shelter, you'll be fine type of thing. If it's big, you hear about it on the news, and then you're like, oh shit, and then you take precautions.
Yeah. Excellent.
Welcome back, Scrim.
Yay, welcome back.
Hello. So we all know a little bit more about hurricane safety, sounds like?
Yep. From a Floridian, so take that as you will. But also, while you were gone, we got 2 more for our mission pool, so now we're at 4.
4! Look at you guys, you're never gonna die. Okay, so let's check in with Ira. Thank you for your patience, everybody. I'm gonna try to make this happen. We'll see. It's not completely in my control, but we'll do our best. Yeah, what you gonna do, Ira?
I think what she's going to do is she's like fixing up planes, and after hearing about her brothers being alive and everything like that, she's a little more, she's happy and ecstatic, but she's tense because now she has something to live for, and without the knowledge of her brother being alive, she kind of already gave up hope. So if she died in the next bombing run, it wouldn't have been, she already kind of accepted her fate. But now that her brother's alive and she could see her family again, it brings this whole light up. So she's a little tense. So she helps out the boys fix their planes, and she goes to pretty much party with the other females and the other men that she can, to just have relaxation, have like a time to chat, she'll probably like find Yuri and just bother the hell out of him until he pays attention to her, and then she like holds up a bottle of vodka type of thing. But yeah, she'll just relax and smoke and drink.
Nice.
Get that feeling of fear out of the way.
Okay, what is this a move at all? This sounds like an act up.
It does. I think it would be.
I like that.
I was also thinking of like, I'm trying to think of what I just thought of, and now it's gone in my head, out of my skull brain. I can't think of it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it would be something of that.
Yeah, so I think this would be hooligan plus luck.
I have no luck.
It's okay.
5!
5. Very interesting.
Thank you.
Oh, I love this game system because all it says is, on a miss, there will be trouble.
Yeah, you know, there's like the ominous...
Oh, man.
Okay, this is very interesting. All right, so you are partying with kind of anyone, like the men and the women, or just the women?
Probably just a little bit of both. I would imagine she's a little more on the female side. She's taking basically what her sister yelled at her about to her, like, to her heart type of thing. Though she's feeling a little, what's the word? Like, hypocritical, because her sister is now, like, she was talking with the guys, and then she got off a plane and kissed one. So Ira's not getting context.
I know.
Ira's not getting context, so she's putting 2 and 2 together going, yeah, and I was the one getting in trouble. Okay. Like,
Oh my goodness.
but yeah, she's probably telling, like, war stories and, like, hearing war stories to get herself more pumped up for the next one.
Okay, so it's like, let's say it's 10:30 a.m. Long past the time you should probably be sleeping,
Yeah.
and you are just you're deep into the vodka, and so one of the pilots who is very drunk is she says, you know, we've almost got him. You know what we should do is we should just take our planes. We should just take them and just do our own run. We should just go and she stands up, like, wobbly on her feet, like, who's with me? Who wants to? Who's with me?
I don't know how Ira's gonna react to that. she lifts her. This isn't a really good glass because it's a toucan, but she lifts her glass and she's like, "Yeah, this is bullshit. We're just waiting around." But
Yeah.
I'm a little tired. She kind of shrugs and takes a swig.
All right, we're going, and she's kind of like rallying up
Yeah.
the troops.
Yeah, we should totally do that. Let's go.
Yeah, her name's Katerina. So Katerina's like, let's go. She leads like this group, about 6 super drunk women. Is Ira among them?
I think she would stand and stumble a bit, and she goes, "Guy, I don't think we should be flying."
No, it's fine. I fly better when I'm drunk.
Oh man.
Okay, so she's like leading this crew of 6 women over to the airfield, and the mechanics are like kind of busting their butts repairing your planes.
Oh my gosh.
And all the other planes that are there.
And I was there during the day helping them out. So like...
yeah. So Katerina is like, she gets right in there, and she's like,
oh my goodness.
Yuri was our other mechanic, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah, she gets right up in Yuri's face and goes, I think that's fine. The plane's totally fine. So just, you want to, just let me, I'll just,
It's
what's the Where's the I'm gonna take the
Got this, Katarina.
Yeah.
It's like, you tell him.
Yeah, so Yuri kind of looks around and he looks incredulously at Ira and he's like,
Got
what
a
are you doing?
secret mission.
Ira kind of wibble wobbles and she pulls him to the side. She goes, come here. And she like leans on her plane and she goes, I'm a little drunk.
Yeah, I can see that.
And she giggles. And she's like, I don't know, Katarina she wants to go fly. I told her not to.
You're pretty.
you look right into his face, say you're cute, and he goes like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, how much vodka have you had?
I have
all of it.
I have this secret stash. Don't tell anyone.
Look, you got this is the real deal. I know you're celebrating, but we have to get this shit fixed for you tomorrow, and you cannot afford to be hung over. What are you doing?
My head hurts, and I'm gonna just ramble for 5 seconds. Stay with me. My brothers are dead, but one of them, we got a letter, and one of them's alive, and I want to see him again. But I don't want to die tomorrow, and I know that I'm just probably gonna get shot, and that's fine. I can deal with gun bullets in my abdomen. I've done it before, but I don't wanna go, not yet.
Yeah, Ira, I know. Look, here's what it is. Your best bet is to stop bothering me. Let me fix your plane, and then maybe we'll all survive another day.
Can you promise me something?
Sure.
After this, me, in my bedroom. I'm definitely gonna need that after this. I'm gonna go. Katarina, we gotta go. I'm gonna go. You do you. You. She like touches his, like does this with his face. She's like, you're doing good. And she like points out at one of the pistons, and she's like, that one's a little rusty though. You gotta fix that one.
He kind of looks at you and says, all right,
This is happening.
he says, yeah, okay. But in exchange for one thing.
Yeah.
Where's your stash? Tell me, or I'll tell your commanding officer.
Oh, threats. It's
Trouble.
one of the shot down planes at the back of the camp.
Mm-hmm.
It's under the wing. Because no one looks. You don't replace wings that often, and it's in there. It's buried.
Yeah, no, we never replace wings. That's right. Okay.
Never. Not even once.
It's like in the wing, so if you like grab it and you're like, oh, I need a wing, you're gonna get like 5 bottles. So 2 of those are like half gone. I don't know when I drank them, but apparently I did. And then she like starts pulling her friends away from the plane.
Okay. And he kind of does like one of these.
Yeah. I was like, salutes, and then like,
Oh my god.
Okay. So, you wave goodbye drunkenly, find your bed and collapse into it.
Yeah.
The 4 of you have a fitful sleep. But Nina, you barely sleep at all. It is a really difficult night for you. And just as you're about to leave for your briefing for the night, you're kind of staring at Nadia. Sleep is making your eyes heavy, and she kind of starts shifting her head around, and she reaches out with a hand and says, "Yeah."
And I say, yeah. So Nina's like, yes, I'm here. How are you? Are you okay? Nadia? My Nadia?
No, it hurts. Everything hurts.
I'm fighting the urge so hard to not be like, I'm so sorry, my little potato. But just because I'm gonna
You just go all in, man. This is your bestie. This is your the love of your life. Just lay in there.
So I tell her that it's gonna be okay. And I burned some Nazis yesterday or this morning. I'm not sure what time it is actually, but I killed them for you. And it was a pretty epic explosion. So I'm gonna go kill some more. That's okay.
A very small smile tugs at the corner of her mouth, and she nods and she says, Go get the boys. Go get the boys while they're not expecting you.
So I tear up a little, and I caress her head just like one more time, and then I walk away. Go kill the boys.
As she, as you pull your hand away from her cheek, she kind of grabs it and pulls it back and says, "I love you."
I just lean in and very softly kiss her on the side of her head, like right here, and I say, "I'll be back." Not in a Terminator way.
Tell her that you love her too.
In a sweet way. She knows.
Still.
And she,
She's pulling a Han Solo.
Yeah.
And she kind of lays back into her cot, and her head lolls over to the side as she falls back asleep. Da, 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 da.
Let's go fight Nazis.
Oh,
Here
nighttime.
we go.
No.
It is nighttime, my friends, and this is it.
This is it.
And we are pushing very close to our limit here because we started late and I've had all these interruptions. So we're gonna jump right into it.
Yes.
You are back with Lieutenant Belozovska, and she is when you enter the room, once again you see the 218th there, and Thomas is there. Yaroslava hobbles in, and your leader tells you that pilots, we are at a decision point. Our Navy has been able to break through the blue line, but we need to be able to hold our position, and so we have a bit of a unique run for you tonight. You're not going to be bombing. You're going to be dropping supplies for our people tonight. The enemy is trying everything they can to prevent you from coming in. It's going to be difficult, but our best bet is to go in at night with you. And she points to a beach that is just east of the village that you bombed. So the Navy has pushed in far enough to get past there, and you know that you were part of that you were able to keep the tanks grounded. And she says, we need you to drop these supplies right here. We're going to be doing several runs. Expect resistance. We also expect air attacks, and then points at the 218th. These, which was why these men will be accompanying you once more. And Thomas does one of these. Any questions? All right. Assign your locations. Sergeant. I forget everyone's last name. Sergeant Nina. So she orders Nina to assign positions. So we're going to have 2 pilots, 2 wayfinders,
Ooh.
2 navigators. Who's doing what?
Okay.
Whoopsie.
So, well, I guess we can switch it up, right? So Sasha was with me last time, piloting, and so I guess how do the sisters feel about flying together?
I don't think we have, actually.
No.
We have.
Yeah, you've had one.
Got shot.
Yeah,
were doing
that was when Sasha almost died.
Maybe we shouldn't.
Okay, so Sasha and Svetlana and Ira, you and me.
Yeah.
All right.
The old team back together. Who's taking what? Who's my pilot? Who are my pilots? Who are my navigators?
I'm still assigning
Yep.
navigators. So I say Svetlana piloting, Sasha navigating, and then I guess I'll pirate. Ira, you wanna navigate?
Okay, it's not like I took that point in the beginning of the session, though, because I thought I was going to pilot and I haven't piloted. But yeah.
I'm so sorry. You haven't piloted? Have you not piloted?
No, I haven't
we'll
piloted
switch.
the session.
Okay,
but
so we'll switch.
I leveled up. I leveled up because we advanced, and
Yeah.
I put it in guts because I was like, I'm
That's
usually
fine.
piloting.
That means you're just more likely to fail
Yeah,
in a wayfinding,
exactly.
and then you can tempt fate, and you still need guts.
Yeah. It's up to you. You're assigning it.
Okay.
Go for it.
I'll pilot, and then
It's up to you. Yeah.
yeah.
Okie doke. All
pilot
right.
and-
Perfect. So, yeah, you are directed to this spot. It is a beachhead, so you're landing this on a beach. You won't be coming in through the sea this time, as you're not 100% sure why, but it sounds like there's quite an intense naval battle going on. So you don't really want to get caught in that crossfire, and you will be flying over land to drop these supplies. As you head toward the airstrip to take off, Thomas comes up behind Nina and Sasha and kind of puts his arms around either their shoulders and says, "All right, women, are we ready?"
Oh yes. So ready. Ready to do this.
Yes.
Kind of inspirational thing. I'm so sorry. My brain.
It's fine. It's fine. And he says, "Hey," to Nina. He says, "Let's do it for the ones who are down."
I think that's a good reason to do it.
And he kind of he's still got like that adrenaline edge. You're all still like vibrating, knowing that this is a decisive battle. If you can manage this, then you're in a very good position, or you're setting up the Russians for a very good position to take the whole war.
Mhm.
And he kind of claps his hands and heads over to his plane.
Ready.
All right. Are we ready? Are we ready? Final.
Mhm.
No, but yeah. Go
Da,
ahead.
da, da, da.
Come on, we can do
Okay.
this.
I'm
I need to
We can
pick.
do
I
this.
need to pick the right music. Here we go. Battle suspense. Called battle suspense.
Battle suspense.
Okay, do it for Nadia. You take off into the night, and you head in toward the target. And this familiar sensation, these crashing sounds, these you hear the waves. It's kind of a cold, windy night. You hear the waves to your left, and you can hear enemy fire in the distance. You see the destroyed landscape underneath you. This place has just been bombed to shit. And you fly overhead, and we're gonna start out with our navigators are going to endure enemy fire for us. You are passing through anti-aircraft guns as they try to shoot you down before you can supply the rest of your crew of your army with things like ammunition, food, all that stuff. So let's start out with Sasha. Can I get you to roll enemy fire, which is plus luck?
You still have
of
a
course
negative
I
one?
will. Oh, a 7. That's not so bad, all things considered.
A 7
Oh
is
my.
okay. So currently you have 4 mission points. And let's establish who's got harm. So the sisters each have 1,
Mhm.
and the others each have 2. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, great. So you are gonna have to either pick some consequences, tempt your fate, or spend some points.
Oh, let me look at these consequences.
Yeah, we've got you may be marked, you might split some harm, your plane is damaged, or another plane in your section, chosen by moi, goes down.
Hmm.
Well, if I pick the harm, you die.
Right?
Like,
Exactly.
I can't soak all of it. Alright, let's see. Do we need to pick just 1, right? No, 2.
2, yeah.
Okay, so we can pick the plane as damage.
Okay.
Is
Okay.
there only 2 planes? Is it just us? If I pick that third option, is it just one of us?
Well, we should
it is
have
my choice.
we should still have the Vidomaya with us too. So there are other people, right?
Yeah, you do have Venomaya with you, but we are not going to give them any functional, like,
Okay.
they're not going to have a role that could be done in the game.
I'll do the plane as damage, and you and your fellow are going to marked.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we'll take those 2.
All right. So Svetlana and Sasha, you can you're gonna take a mark. I imagine it's not gonna come to bear right away, so let's think about that for a moment. Now it's time for your wayfinding roll, Sasha. That is plus skill.
Right, plus skill we're better at. That. Hey!
Yay!
11.
Nice.
All right, there you go. Okay, yes, you are able to find this beach. They've set up some flares for you, so you're able to find exactly where you need to go. And it's time for, well, it says attack run, but let's call it a supply run.
Okay.
Svetlana,
Yes.
give me a plus guts roll.
Ugh, okay.
You drop this extremely important equipment where it needs to go.
Okay.
That's good.
888.
Yeah.
What would you like to do?
Let's see. I'm seeing it. What the consequences in your thing are here,
Okay, so
just in
you
case.
can-
Like, yeah,
Sure.
I see.
Okay,
Ugh.
so you can take 2 consequences. Either you damage the supplies. We can put it that way,
Mhm.
and it's your fault.
Mhm.
You fly through a storm of flak, which would again trigger enemy fire. A plane in your section is damaged, or you are marked. You can choose 2 of
Succeed.
those.
It's been 2 points.
Yeah, I
Which
think
is
that
true.
Yeah.
I think we can use the 2 points to make it count. I think that we're good.
Okay.
All we have to do is land. It'll be fine.
It'll always be fine. It's landing. Yeah.
So yeah,
And,
we'll boost it to a 10, so I don't have to make that choice.
Okie doke, sounds good. Perfect. Okay, so you are able to, despite taking some damage from enemy fire, you're able to find where you have to go, and you drop it to perfection. And you see, as you glide away, you see others running up to pick up the supplies. They're bringing it to a second location, and you can hear in the distance this naval battle raging. Okay, excellent. So, you are going to have to try to land this plane later, but so far you're looking pretty good. Let's see how our navigator Ira does against enemy fire. That's going to be, yes, plus luck.
7.
What would you like to do? You're going to take the hits?
Yeah.
Tempt fate?
You said that because if we fail this, our plane's damaged. We have to take another consequence, right?
If you fail this, you choose 2 consequences. You are marked, split some harm, plane is damaged, or another plane in your section goes down.
Goes down, not damaged. I'm definitely gonna take the marks.
Okay.
Because I don't know about you, Nita, but I have plenty of marks to take.
I think
and I already know which one I'm gonna take. So, and how much harm would we take if we did get hurt? Like 4, and then we would have to
5.
5. Jesus, that would
kill you both, pretty much.
That would, yeah.
Because
it would leave me with 1, I think.
You'd be alive, but Nina would die.
Yeah. I'm just gonna take the damage then. Damage to our plane.
Okay, we got a couple of marked airwomen, so you'll all be thinking about what that mark might be.
I already know.
All right, then I guess we'll get our wayfinding roll from Ira now. That'll be plus skill.
Four.
That is a 4. Would you like to tempt fate? Or are you gonna take the failure?
I'm gonna tempt fate. That's what, luck? Or is that guts?
I believe it is guts.
Yes! The thing I advanced! Alright. 10.
Yeah!
Look at that. Oh, from a 4 to a 10. I was like, okay, give me a good picture of this textbook approach.
Oh, yeah, so Ira's in the navigation seat looking around back and forth. She sees that her sister and Svetlana thanks.
The other one.
I'm gonna keep doing this. But, they fly past, and she takes a deep breath, and she starts focusing on lining up, mutes out the fire that's going around her, and she lines it up beautifully with a little bit of wobbly wibble from the other planes flying past her, and just her hands shaking, and she has a massive headache from the night she was drinking. And she does it, and she gives Nita the OK symbol, and that's basically it.
Okay, excellent. Okay, beautiful. So Nina, comes down to you. Let's see if you are able to drop these supplies.
And that is guts, right?
Yep.
And that is guts.
Okay.
You got this.
Oops.
8.
Okay.
Okay.
Use our 2 marks. We have 2 marks. Use them. Unless you want to save them for
2 in your mission pool. Yeah,
Two
you're
in
both
mission
gonna
pool,
have to roll wheels down.
Yep.
or save them for the wheels down. But
The consequences listed are the ones under attack run.
Mhm.
That's right. So either you damage the supplies and it's your fault, enemy fire, a plane intersection is damaged or a mark. So you have to pick 2 of those.
Or I can tempt fate.
Or you can tempt fate.
Fate is also guts.
Right. Which is where I have my pluses.
Oh man.
I'm gonna tempt fate.
Oh man.
Awesome. Okay. Sweet.
Ah.
Okay.
Oh.
God. God damn it.
And then you realize you left your potato with Nadia.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
So, choose marked.
And a harm.
Damage supplies, enemy fire, or another plane in your section is damaged.
Damage supplies.
Okay, and you need to choose one other one.
I can take another mark if you need to. That's the most safest option unless
Yeah.
you can't.
I say marked. I can. I have quite a few.
Okay. All right. So, you all of you have been marked, a couple of you repeatedly, by this experience. The tension, the stress of getting this right, it feels like there's so much riding on your shoulders. Every action you do is important. And so you drop your supplies, and Nina, as you see as you drop them that you haven't quite gotten them to where they have to go. There's ammunition and food just scattered in the waves, in the sand, and you have this sickening feeling that you've failed. There's no way that you did that correctly, and you see a couple of people scattering, trying to pick up what you've dropped, you swing back, knowing that you now have to land a damaged plane and face the consequences of failing this run.
Well, one of our planes succeeded. The other one, they succeeded. It's just-
Nina has to face it, and you're remembering Svetlana yelling at Yaroslava and how that made you feel like an inch tall.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So, as you head back, you are heading into it. You can see the storm out on the waves. As you head back, you're heading into like a headwind. So we're going to roll wheels down. You are in a very unstable situation. Your plane is damaged, and we're going to add an extra consequence because of this very intense weather that you're dealing with. The wind is like cutting on the faces of the pilots, and the navigators are a little bit more protected, but you're still not quite able to see exactly where you're going. It's a little bit tougher to get back than it was to get there. Let's start with Nina. Can you roll plus skill?
You got this.
Okay. Yeah, no, I can totally do this. It's okay.
You got this. You don't got this.
Damn it!
Okay.
What is with those fives?
What would you like to do? You can add 2 from your mission pool, make it a 7, and take 3 consequences, or you can tempt fate.
Would I still be able? I'd still have the option to use the mission pool if I tempt fate, right?
Yeah.
Oh, for like a success there. Okay. I'm gonna tempt fate. Because
Okay. Guts.
Oh my god!
Tip fate will
That's like
cover.
even worse.
damn it.
Oh my god. Oh my
Okay.
god.
This is fucking real, guys.
Oh my god.
So
We need mission points, please.
here is
Oh
here
my
are I need
gosh.
you to choose 3 of the following 4 options. Number 1, it's unflyable,
Mhm.
and if it's damaged, essentially it would become a fiery wreck.
Hmm.
Split 3 harm,
Oh man.
We could do that.
or your lack of skill, courage, and care with people's machinery is noted. Your landing puts you in immediate danger.
Okay. Landing puts you in immediate. I have to pick 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
How many harm do you have, Ira?
I have 1.
So if you take 2, you'd be at 3,
Yep.
and if I take 1, I'd also be at 3.
There you go. We could. That's what I mean. We could do that.
Okay. So I'm gonna do the bottom 3. The split 3 harm.
Okay.
Lack of skill is noted, and landing puts you in immediate danger.
Okay. So you're each at 3 harm. And as you land, you are surprised to find another plane on the runway. You try to veer out of its way, but you are headed straight for it. You crash land on here. Your wing like crunches into the side of your plane, and sort of it kind of goes up like this, and the posts that are holding it onto the body of the plane go like right next to your head, like you just about get impaled through the head.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
And you're in a plane that is on the verge of collapse. You are both severely injured. And the pilot next to you, you turn, you see Thomas like looking over at you in surprise, and his plane seems fine because it's made of metal. But your wooden piece of crap is falling apart. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get a roll from each of you. I want you to pick the one you think matches best. I'll let you choose. Skill, guts, or luck. And if you roll a 10, you're gonna get out without consequence. If you roll 7 to 9, you're gonna get a mark, and if you roll below 7, then you're going to take 1 harm,
Oh god.
which will kill you.
Yeah, would be dead.
Oh my god.
So dead. I don't trust my rolls.
It has been a privilege.
So we both have to do this. We both have to roll.
Each
something.
of you has to roll.
Okay.
Roll whatever one you want, just as long as you can kind of justify it, why it would be luck, guts, or skill.
Okay. Do you want to go first, Peter?
Sure. What have been... I'm gonna try luck,
Okay.
and I love you all so much.
6.
Son of a bitch.
Ugh.
Well,
That is a 6. Well, you can spend a mission pool point to put it up to 7 and take a mark instead of a harm.
Do that.
I will use that. Yes, I'll take that and go to 7. So that'll be 4 marks I'm taking, which I can do, but
Okay. Nina, can you describe how you luckily get out? How do you use your luck to get out?
so you said we were like semi-impaled by
Close to it.
close to it. Okay. If I can, I'd like to just barely duck under the impaling implement and kind kind of just like tuck under it and use the last bit of my strength to roll out of the plane. Just like throw myself out, essentially.
All right. So Nina makes a narrow escape. How many mission points are we at? Mission pool points.
How many did you
ours
use?
Bring us back up to we've used 3.
Okay, we used 3. We have then we have 1 left right now, and we have 188 hit points left on the stream boss for for 2.
Guys, help.
This
Please.
is the last one. Okay.
I'm rolling
Ira.
now. It's my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn.
I've never been more nervous to roll.
Yep.
I'm rolling guts.
Okay.
12! Holy shit!
Nice. Oh,
My little heart! Oh my god! I'm alive!
so stressful.
I've never been more stressed in my life.
Oh my god.
Ira, describe your gutsy escape.
Oh yeah. Okay, so oh god. So as Nina hops out, luckily, Ira, she gets caught. That thing that almost impaled us actually impaled her jacket. And she's pulling off, like she's ripping it and trying to tug at it. And she notices that everything's leaking and on fire, and if she doesn't get out of there, it's going to explode and she's gonna die. And she instead pulls herself forward with this thing still impaled to her, and she just legit like zip lines down this pole off the plane and makes a roll, and it rips her jacket, and then it explodes.
Oh my gosh, that's so badass. That was
Nice.
awesome. That was freaking awesome.
So awesome.
Okay, start
Wow.
thinking about your many, many marks.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
I want to kind of go through that in the epilogue when we wrap up here. Okay, that'll be a wheels down roll from Svetlana. You are facing the wind. You feel like flakes of ice cutting into your skin. That is a plus skill.
Okay. Alright, let's see what happens.
Oh my god!
Oh
Wow.
my gosh.
Wow.
No!
Wow.
Guys, that was a real bad roll.
Oh. Oh, thank you, Eric! I should have bring us up to another mission pool point.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Wait, now we have 2 mission pool points, I think.
this calls for a music change.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh god, it's more intense.
Well, Svetlana, I'm guessing that you want to tempt
God.
fate on this one?
Please do.
1 sec.
Oh god.
We're totally not scheming at all.
You guys totally are though.
Yeah. Look at this.
It's up to you. Yeah.
Guys, I drank too much water and I really have to pee, but I don't want to get up and go.
You know
It's up
what?
to you, Svetlana, you're flying.
You know what?
Should we take a break?
Is that what you
No,
No, I don't think so.
Just, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Let's do it.
so you know what? I will tempt fate only because people just like threw bits at us, and I don't want to like necessarily disappoint them. But I hope I disappoint them.
You guys have like a good scheme up your sleeve, my god.
I did it.
That's amazing.
That
Okay.
was a good comeback.
All right.
That was
Well,
beautiful. It's yeah. Give me a great description about how you amazingly land this plane.
Oh my god.
okay. So I feel great about the whole run. Everything has been so fantastic. and I've just been like, everything's on point. The noise is like a symphony. It's just fantastic out here. It's like flying a kite, kind of. We kind of are.
Really big kite.
You know?
Yeah, that's flammable.
That you ride in.
Yeah, and so I'm flying around. I see that they just like crashed into some other plane that's on.
It exploded.
It's on, yeah, that's on the thing. So I was like, okay, we're gonna go down. We're gonna go down, not on the runway because it's too blocked.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And you know what? You managed to land with the 12. You managed
Reland.
to... Yeah.
So great.
It's
so wonderful. And it's like
beautiful, smooth landing.
I feel so great. I can't feel my legs. And then I look down, and there's blood everywhere. Everywhere. I'm like swimming in it. And I see like my mother's picture on the dash, and everything is quiet and everything is calm now. And I feel like maybe it's time to see her again. Maybe it's time to be with my family again. And I'm embracing death.
That was your mark.
Yeah.
Ira and Nina, you watch this plane land, and you see Svetlana slump over the throttle.
Picture like gripped in her hand. It's like kind of like close to her chest as she's just kind of resting her head on the wheel, just like as if she's like, oh wow, this was great. I just need to take a nap now.
Sasha will like crawl over the plane and just kind of, as much as she can, like get into the seat with Savannah and just pull her like into her lap and just hold her, like crying over her. As I will suffer the death of a friend.
So yeah, we're doing it. We're gonna make everybody cry. And so yeah, and I can see her, and I see her, and Sasha is so beautiful. She's glowing. She's so full of life, and it's fantastic. She has her brother, and I'm so happy for her. She has her brother. She has her sister. She has her family here, and I smile at her, and I look up, and I, blinking and weird, like tears forming, unwanted, but they happen, and they're tears of happiness. And she said, I'm so happy for you, Sasha. I'm so happy for you. Yeah.
Sasha was like reach out and take her hand and just kind of pull her close and just like, I'm happy too. Valeria was the best plane ever. Tell your brother hello.
She's a good woman. Here, and I hand her the picture of my mother, and this is close to my heart. It will keep you in hers too.
Sasha will paint probably somewhat blood-stained like picture.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah.
Like, just like the bloody fingerprints on it.
Yep.
Just hold it close.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think that I'm sad. Me personally, but I think. But yeah, like she's always felt like it's like a weight is just released off of her. She doesn't have to pretend. Yeah. She doesn't have to play that game of hurting people to stay alive, and it's just so freeing, and she feels wonderful, and she feels nothing, and she feels light, and she feels happy. Really happy.
As Svetlana breathes her last breath, Sasha, as you're looking at her face, you hear shouts and feet running. It sort of sounds like something's happening in far distance, and you see Thomas runs up shouting and starts to try to get her out of your arms and says, is she okay? What's wrong? Is she okay?
Sasha just like shaking her head at this point. She just can't speak. She's just sobbing.
Yeah. And he kind of nods and he runs off to get help. What are Ira and Nina doing?
So they landed how close to our plane?
I think that you see they haven't come out of the plane yet.
Gotcha. So Nina kind of pushes herself up as much as she can and tries to stand up and really the force of will here to get to their plane, because she hasn't seen anybody rolling out at all or jumping out. And she saw Thomas. It was Thomas, right, who ran to get help.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like tunnel vision trying to get to the plane to see who's in there. She finds Sasha weeping over Svetlana's body and just kind of like breaks down, just like legs give out right there, because this is her first time in this regiment that someone did like a close
Mm-hmm.
person, I think, is, yeah, she's not having it. I don't think Nina just like can't move. She's just bawling on the floor. And she says that at least she doesn't have to live through the rest of this.
Oh. And Sasha, you see Ira in the distance, and you can see she's very badly injured.
Yeah, she's after rolling and her jacket ripping, she's laying there on her back looking at the sky. And she does this like motion in the distance, like a woo type of thing, like trying to keep her own spirits up of like almost dying
again.
And and she's laying there and she grips her side and she kind of rolls over a bit trying to stand, but her legs are just wobbly and she just falls back down and doesn't really make it to the plane, but she's a little bit too injured to even get up and do anything. A little too sore. So all she has to do is like hope that her sister's okay and that they're okay.
Seeing the other two, or kind of after the moment of Svetlana's death, like passes just for a second, realizing there's two more, and they haven't really come up to the plane like they might normally do when they're fine. Sasha will kind of very gently like put Svetlana down and climb out of the plane with the picture probably still in hand and run over to try to find her sister and Nina, who themselves are looking pretty worse for wear. Very critical condition.
You help them back away from the runway, away from the hangar, and coming up beside you, Yaroslava puts Ira's arm around her shoulders and she, limping herself, brings you along wordlessly, guiding you and helping you to the med bay. And we fade out from this scene to see the Germans past the blue line are retreating. They're getting pulverized by Allied forces, and not without cost. Supplies, equipment, and lives are being lost by the hundreds, the thousands, and eventually it'll be the millions on the Soviet side. But for today, they're retreating, finally. For the first time in 2 years, you've pushed them back. And they keep retreating, and we see that line moving. The years go by, and by 1945, the Soviets are in Berlin, and they've taken the country of the people who took their country. And a whole new era of the world begins. Where do Ira, Nina, and Sasha fit into this world? Do they make it to the end? What kind of marks have they taken? And where do they go back to? Let's start with Nina.
Well, I'm with Nadia, and I'm gonna say we have matching scars on her. So maybe that last rollout from the plane left a pretty significant scar on the right side of my face, where her burn is on her left. And where I'm helping her into whatever type of wheelchair existed at the time.
Very heavy one, I imagine.
I would think so, yeah. And taking her maybe outside to sit and watch the clouds. And talk about where we want to be once we get out of the hospital.
Ira.
Oh fuck. Never prepared.
I was gonna get to you eventually.
Ira, she throughout the entire years of still going out bombing and doing supply runs and everything of that nature, she gets a little bit better at her job and still keeps her personality. She ends up getting almost masterful at piloting, and she even gets a medal for it for one run that she doesn't really feel too proud of. She nearly lost all of her sisters in that run. And as things start settling down and they're released and everything of that nature, she doesn't really know where to go. She first contacts her sibling, her brother, but in the meantime, she what's the word? She holds her promise to Yuri and basically spends the rest of her life with him. That's all I have. I would say more. I don't know if
That's perfect. That's
I don't know if her sister's alive, so
yeah, let's hear from Sasha.
Sasha, years later, pictured in like a park back in Kiev, The, at this time, unnamed man, probably with a small boy. And also in the scene would be 2 girls, and perhaps Sasha's pregnant with another, expecting to have another big family like hers did. And I think the girls would be named Svetlana and Valeria.
My heart.
That's awesome.
And our last scene, we smell the intoxicating scent of bread baking, and we see the top of the line oven from the 1950s, and Svetlana reaches into the oven, pulls out 3 golden loaves of bread, and sits down with Valeria and Sophia, and they each take a massive chunk and spread it thick with white, yellow, salty butter. Take a bite, take a sip of their tea, and we zoom out of a picturesque window on a beautiful scene as they begin to talk.
Yippee.
All right. And with that concludes the finale of Night Witches on the Shadowcasters network.
But
Oh man, I made it right until the end. Ah, I hate you,
did it.
Scrim. I
You
hate
did
you,
it.
Scrim.
it was a happy ending.
Oh, I'm
It was a
talking-
happy, sad ending.
I'm just literally talking about the words that come out of Scrim's mouth make my tears come.
Yeah.
Ah.
Put daggers in my heart. In the most goodest ways possible.
Wow. Oh my gosh. This has been so fun.
Holy moly. I don't know if Doug is trying to create an emoji or if he just gave us 0.0 rating.
Thanks.
Thanks, Doug.
Fuck you too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, you guys fucking brought it. That was the Cassies scheming in the corner about death. That was it is a difficult thing to let go of a character.
I will definitely say that the points in the chat changed our scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Improv.
No, that was
Very good.
that was amazing. That yeah, I thank you for bringing such depth of character and interesting humans to this. We easily could have lost a couple of you along the way. I think 4 games, 1 death is actually probably about right for this game. Wow, thank you. This has been incredible. And I'm hoping that we don't get a chance to debrief your actual run there, but I do want to debrief the game. So let's get our nationalist hats on, listen to the Soviet anthem, and talk
Excellent.
about how great Mother Russia, Night Witches is. I want to hear your thoughts. Tell me everything you think.
So this is the first time I've played a game powered by the Apocalypse, and as far as the mechanics go, I hope it's not the last game I play, because I did find it really nice and easy to follow, understand, in general. So like the general mechanics of the game, I did enjoy. As far as the game itself, I really, I think that like having a role-playing game in a real historical setting is just so different than, you know, a lot of the other places, you know, games that are out there right now. And
Yeah.
it's worth your time to not only play the game, but learn the history too, because it makes, like, your characters, when you play them, have so much more depth and so much more that there's so much more at stake when you know what was really happening. And so it's I really enjoyed playing it. I really enjoyed playing with you guys a lot. So
What a great crew we got here.
Yeah, that's my thought.
Yeah, it was my first time playing a Powered by Proctor game, so I'm normally more attracted to cruncher games over narrative, but I had a blast, and I would definitely play this again. It was very intense. I liked the change up that you made to make it a little scarier. I thought it balanced well with getting the points from the chat. Because we did only survive thanks to chat.
It's so true.
We would add so many backup characters. And other than that, I really appreciate the invite because I do love this section of history. And
it's so fascinating.
I studied it a lot, so this was fun to actually get to do something inside of it and use all that knowledge.
Yeah.
It was fun it was cool to have you too, Cassie, on, because you knew so much about the setting. You would kind of put in tidbits that I was like, oh yeah, she knows what's going on there. Whereas it was kind of history light for a lot of it. But I tried to put it into your stories. I had the Holodomor in Kiev, and then we had some gulags in northern Russia, and
definitely. And thanks for putting those details in that made it more real. I mean, as much as like the execution was like
it was a little rough.
It was, but it was very fitting to the time period. So.
Yeah, and I want to hear from Sabrina and Paige too, but I'm curious to talk about that, the intensity of it. I mean, this is like, and to think about this time period as a time period that people in their 20s and 30s, this was their, and even younger teens in this situation, they had this massive responsibility just handed to them by a couple of despots, really, who just decided, like, this is what's going on, and you're fighting for me, and it makes for very, very intense situations. So how did you feel about that? The intensity of it.
You know,
personally.
Go ahead.
Oh, all right. So having to, like, wake up early after a game and go to work with all of, like, you go to sleep with everything that happened during the game. So I expected that to be a little. This is gonna maybe sound terrible. I don't know, but I thought it was maybe gonna be harder. Based on how heavy it would get during the games and how very serious it was. But I think that it was helpful to have the team, right? So, like, I'm not playing by myself. I'm playing with the team, and everybody is in it, and everybody's surviving, and there were some pretty big successes. Like, it was a pump you up moment for a lot of it, despite the realities of World War II and the Soviet Union, which was fucking awful.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought that's what helped me kind of just enjoy the game for what it is.
Like, I have I try not to think about, like, how horrendous and horrible it actually was, because that's like, I have family that went through that I have family that had to were, like, in the Korean War, and I've had, like, so I have a lot of family war stories where I know how much they went through, and I know you know, and to have, and that's just from one person, and to like think about all of the millions and millions of people who all have those stories too. It's just it's overwhelming for me. So yeah.
Yeah, I sometimes wonder what kind of psychological scars that entire generation sustained and just accepted and you know, even passed along to children, grandchildren, to us. What affects us every single day, because after the war, too, you know, things, especially in Europe, were pretty rough for a long time, and yeah, it was. It's not a pretty picture.
Like I have my I guess you would call him my step grandfather was at Pearl Harbor, and my great uncle went through the Bataan Death March, and like just like really horrible things. So like it's very easy for me to imagine like the horrors of war because I've heard it in detail. It's really, I'm glad that I've never had to experience it myself. So yeah.
And I felt like the game itself, and I would be very curious to talk to the designers. I felt the game kept sort of nudging me towards not really the Nazis, but what the Soviet Union did to their people, and how they did it, and what, you know, there's functions to do that. The zealot who stands up and accuses people gets points for it.
Yeah.
And you're always worried about the NKVD, and then, you know, you go on these bombing runs. The Nazis kind of became faceless the way that the game was built, and I thought that was really interesting, unexpected.
For sure.
Unexpected. Well, yes.
It's kind of heavy.
Heavy stuff. Heavy stuff. You guys, but thank you for taking it seriously and jumping right in. And thank you for adding some levity with a few well-placed potatoes.
Yes.
And a couple drunken nights and a few little trysts on the side. That was really excellent. Yeah, you guys were incredible, and I have a little gift for you.
What?
I commissioned the very fabulous Paige to draw a little something for us.
Oh my gosh!
There we are.
I'm so proud of that, dude.
That's so awesome!
Yeah.
Wow!
There's Sabrina. There's Cassie and Cassie. And me. Paige.
I even got your potato in there too.
That's awesome! Wow!
Yeah, so I will we will make sure that you get some digital copies of this, my team.
Yes, please.
My excellent humans. Once I have access to a better scanner, rather than like taking a picture with my phone. We were chatting back and forth, her and I said what I wanted was our faces on the characters, because I thought that'd be really fun.
That's so cool.
We had the great art from Bully Pulpit, and it was really cool, but I thought it would be fun to put ourselves in there. So.
Nice. That's
Thank
awesome.
you, Paige.
You're very welcome. I enjoyed drawing it. Drawing planes was a bitch, but it turned out fabulous. And
it looks really hard. There's a lot of lines.
Yeah.
Now I know
That's
that's the
great.
basic idea of drawing, but I feel like
yeah, well, because like when you get to the piloting and then the navigating areas, the cockpits areas, there's a lot of beams that are just sticking out here and there, and they're all meant for something or other. My friend told me about it because I was ranting to him about how hard it was to draw, and he was like giving me history lessons when I was like in the middle of a really difficult line. So,
you think they're hard to draw. Think about building them.
Exactly, pretty much.
Wow.
But I'm glad you guys like it, because I was like, I think at least for me, I think I mastered your guys' faces onto those characters. So I tried really hard.
Awesome.
I like the detail of the red lipstick. That's
Yeah,
fun.
that was like a last minute thing I asked Grim too. I was like, "Do you want red ink instead of black for like the lips and the stars?" And she was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Let's sound off. Let's get some real quick plugs in here. I know it's super late, so try to make them quick. And then we will say Das Vidanya to the Night Witches.
Hell yeah.
Who should I start with? Let's go with Cassie Pullhammer.
Okay, so I'm gonna make it really quick. If anybody is going to MegaCon in Orlando next weekend, I will be there selling my soap. So show up and come hang out, and it'll be so great. The other thing, I'm just gonna spam a couple links in here for you guys to just go through, check it out, do stuff, because I do stuff with original box set, and I make soap. Go here, check it out, buy my stuff, be clean and smell great. Boom.
Yeah. Nice. That was
Gorgeous.
clean. I'm worried that mine's not going to be as clean. Like dreading my plugs.
Okay, Paige, I'll put you last. Get your links ready.
Okay.
Cassie Levitt, tell us all about yourself. Pulling a page. You're muted, my dear.
Even better.
I don't know how to work a mute button. I make all types of stuff for Roll20.net because that's my whole life. I also play on the variants, Opti and all those guys every other Monday. Still doing that for a while. And, I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't have a whole lot to plug anymore.
Okay, all right. Sabrina.
So I mean, I don't really have anything of my own to plug, but so I'm plugging everybody else's shit, and go watch their stuff. Buy Cassie's soap. These are a really good cast of players. So if they're in a game, go watch it, and you can watch it on YouTube too. You don't. I mean, we'd prefer you watch it live, of course, but you know.
Watch it.
Do the thing.
And make sure you ask your representatives why your rent is so high.
Yeah. Get involved in housing initiatives.
Thank you, please. Yes. Do so.
I agree with Soy Mage. We need Sabrina in more stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
I hope this is not the last time we see you on Shadowcasters.
I was gonna say, Sabrina, you're a doll. I love you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I hope other things too, so.
Yeah. Okay, Paige, are you ready?
Yeah. You ready for this shit? Hi, my name is Paige Jones. I'm an artist. You can find me here at these links. If you like the fabulous artwork that I did for Scrim, you can actually see it on Instagram, and you can see the details of what I actually had to go through, because I actually took a lot of different pictures. So that's a thing. You can also follow me on Twitter, where you can also contact me for art. I also do Friday Night Frights on Original Box Set, which is a spooky X-Files / thingamajigger. I play Elliot Jones. He's great. And then I have Join the Anarchy on Monday, which hopefully is going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but hopefully it's going to happen. And that starts at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Friday Night Frights starts at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's it. Good night.
Awesome. Nice work. Yeah, we may have some technical troubles with Join the Anarchy on Monday, but fingers crossed we get those resolved. Regardless, we are opposite mutants and masterminds. So, yeah, if you're going to watch that one every Monday, then come back next week and watch us infiltrate Ares headquarters and totally not become a corrupted blood mage.
I don't know when we have... Once Upon a Tabletop's fucking the 29th, Oz. But that's coming up.
I think it's the 22nd.
I have it on the 29th. I'm apparently on
Could
my
be both.
thing. No one's told me anything if we're changing.
Oh, wait, no, there
so...
is one on the 22nd, but maybe you're on the 29th.
I don't know, maybe.
Can't help you. I don't know your schedule.
No
I
one
don't
told
have
me
access
anything.
to that paper. 22nd. It is the 22nd. Oz confirmed.
Thank you for
Welcome
telling
to
me now.
Scheduling the Anarchy on Shadowcasters Network.
Wait, Once Upon a Tabletop, the 22nd. That starts at, I think, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think we're playing Time Agents again, and we're Time Stories, and we're Time Agents, and I think we're gonna do stuff with dragons.
Excellent.
So that's exciting.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so signing off. Come watch all our stuff. We love you guys. Thank you so much for coming out. And I look forward to doing something like this again very soon. You four are total rock stars. That was you totally brought it every single session. So thank you so much. And
Thanks for running it, dude.
Yeah.
hey, yeah.
I need to play more games.
And
with
writing
you as
all of
GM.
the stories, fantastic. So great.
It was fun. It was great fun. I was glad to be able to do it. So oh yes, and also my only other plug, I'm gonna be at Gen Con, and I just want to hang out with people. I am going on my own, and I know there's lots of people there I'm gonna see, but if you're going to Gen Con, hang out with me. You can stare at this face in person.
Yes.
If you actually go to Gen Con, just walk up to Scrim and just stare her in the face. And then be like, you told me I could.
You told me to. Eric, yay! Okay, so that's that. I'll talk about it lots on Join the Anarchy in the next little while because, guys, I want some friends. So, thank you very much. You're all fabulous, and good night.
All right,
guys.
Bye.